မင်္ဂလာပါယနေ့ရဲ့ Journey Towards Having a Healthy and Smart Baby Symposium စတင်ရဲ့အချိန်ကြာရောက်လာပြီဖြစ်တဲ့အတွက်ခမအတွင်းမှာနေရာယူပေးကြပါရန်လေးစားစွာပန်ကြားအပ်ပါတယ်ရှင် Good afternoon to all distinguished doctors attending our academic symposium, Journey Towards Having a Healthy and Smart Baby, organized by Myanmar Obstetric and Gynecology Society in collaboration with We Care Health at Home, partnered by We Care CHC Division. I am Matin Tanawi from We Care Consumer Healthcare Division, Mega Life Science, and I will be the Master of Ceremony for today's symposium. May I present you with our today's agenda as follows. First and foremost, Professor Aung, Patron of Myanmar Obstetric and Gynecology Society, Myanmar Medical Association, will conduct the welcome address, followed by opening speech from Professor Khin, Professor and Head of University of Medicine 1 Yangon, President of Myanmar Obstetric and Gynecology Society. The first symposium, Journey Towards Having a Healthy and Smart Baby, will be chaired by Professor San Myint, former professor and head of Department of Obstetric and Gynecology, University of Medicine 1 Yangon, and speaker will be Dr. Thida, senior consultant OB-GYN from Department of Obstetric and Gynecology, North Okkalarpa General Hospital. And the second symposium, We Care Mother and Child Application, will be chaired by Professor Khin, Professor and Head of University of Medicine 1 Yangon, President of Myanmar Obstetric and Gynecology Society. After that, Dr. Binu Joy, CEO of Health at Home, will be sharing the objectives of We Care Mother and Child Application, and Dr. Lynn, clinical lead of Health at Home, will be the speaker for the second symposium and present the benefits of weak care, mother and child application. After the symposiums, there will be the question and answer sessions. Dr. Thin Aung, Business Director, Consumer Healthcare Division, Mega Life Science, will honor with a vote of thanks for this occasion. Last but not least, we will close with the Lucky Shuffle program for all the doctors participating today's symposium. Afterwards, we will have a group photo session. Now, it is my honor and privilege to officially announce the commencement of our symposium today. I would like to invite Professor Aung, Patron of Myanmar Obstetric and Gynecology Society, Myanmar Medical Association, for welcome address.
Good afternoon. It is a great honor for me to be here today in this FENZA Symposium on Journey Towards Having a Healthy and Smart Baby with our Obstetrics and Gynecological Society, Myanmar Medical Association. I would like to thank the FENZA and all the representatives for sponsoring us for this continuing medical education for the Obs and Gyne. And I'm also glad that to see our senior members of the Obs and Gyne Society, Professor Do, Khin Minta, Sayu Jonyo, Mama Eppa, because we still need the leading role of these senior members and the very enthusiastic role of our junior members. Not an aura jaria, so easy, but they bamalo some lows. So, the symposium go low portrait through time and tara or to Javi, but no, Eroho Thida, a panga, Thida, pine book. No, Dine through aptly the Kupia Bame, not aptly the Kupia Kaja. It is also translated in Burmese for our pregnant ladies to monitor their pregnancy. I did a go no OG no OG so any app never that biro. Mego Majaba, not the dine time in Japan, no Mego Maja, men idea the canal in biro, Megonita army, the Awe and Birone. Not all not allow to be a yellow ya on Nenale who ye biro, we van village hours or no who upload that sea the Maginocilla and Nakashi do pin up. Sia ye pemo on to not being hard Gija Lida Boquas, we have to Babylon so the FT it is very important. Another thing which is very important is that they will have the endorsement of the Obs and Gyne Society, MMA. They will tell that it has been shown in this symposium and OG agrees. Actually, the OGs never agrees. Tell me out on material OG do lobby agree lo kind of OG agree lo mama hope. We will help you as much as we can to improve the apps and for use. So there will be one symposium for the academic purpose, and the second is for the apps and application, which we have to look at it and discuss. I would like to wish you all the best, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor, for your welcome address. May I invite Professor Kimete, Professor and Head of University of Medicine 1 Yangon, President of Myanmar Obstetric and Gynecology Society for the opening speech.
Good afternoon, all the distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to you all for joining us today on behalf of the OG Society. Today's symposium is related to maternal health and one of the interesting data applications. So first of all, I'd like to thanks to all of you, especially our seniors, for attending this symposium and spending your precious time today. There is one interesting point in this symposium, as we said before, the data applications. And the first section will be a journey towards having a healthy and smart baby, will be presented by Dr. Thida, Senior Consultant from Okkalarpa General Hospital. The second section will be an introduction of the new digital platform for maternal health and prenatal recording tools. That digital platform is not only beneficial for mother as well as for our obstetrician in terms of antenatal management, I think. As you all know, our pregnant mother and each and every single mother, they fail to remember their record and their last menstrual period and date of the ultrasound. And they forget the data regarding the ultrasound and investigations record. Sometimes they leave their in the books and records when they come to the clinic. So that is very difficult and challenging for our obstetrician to manage, to provide the effective and quality care. In addition, after the COVID era, the digital healthcare system has been used in many other medical health sectors. So today, our symposium, our discussions regarding the maternal nutrition and data keeping would be applicable in our daily routine practice. So I would like to request you to provide the fruitful discussions at the end of the symposium. And then I'd like to say sincere thanks to the Mega Life Science Company Limited and all the responsible person who are coming from the Thailand, all the senior person from Mega for supporting us this symposium. And lastly, but not the least, may I express my hearty appreciation to all my seniors and junior colleagues and all the participants today. And please continue support our academic activities of CME and symposium of our OG Society. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor, for your opening speech. Now, I would like to request Honorable Madam Chairperson, Professor San Myint, to chair the first symposium. May I invite Professor San Myint onto the stage, please?
Good afternoon, our senior and junior colleagues. Today's symposium is a very interesting topic, which is a journey towards having a healthy and smart baby, which will be presented by Dr. Thida. Dr. Thida is senior consultant from our Obstetric and Gynecology unit of University of Medicine 2. And I would like to invite Dr. Thida for your interesting presentation. Well.
Welcome to all and good afternoons. My respectable, beloved professors and distinguished guests, my seniors and junior colleagues. I'm Dr. Thida from North Okkalarpa General Hospital. I'm very pleased to be here to sharing and enhancing and refresh your memory by showing my knowledge. And that title I have given and we bring you to tonight's toward having healthy and smart babies. Everybody has encountered the journeys and it has been to be successful is very important. And it's also important to overcome any obstacles or difficulty through the journeys. So we have the journeys and the motherhoods. In older years, we have as Chinese movies like the Journey to the Woods. The Khin can lead the group to overcome the obstacles and difficulties throughout the journeys. Who is Kim Yukons to the hand journeys of the babies and motherhood. These will be the contents and I will send you according to this subtitle. The preconceptions is importance because it is the preparations of the journeys that is the crucial. So its importance already knows the folic acids, its supplementation is always needed before and during pregnancy to reduce the risk of neural juice defects. And then another important thing is optimizing the mother's conditions, especially she has underlying medical problem, and we have to care with physician and gynecological for her disease, epilepsies, and hypertension also. The another thing is very important and weight control. The woman must be an optimal BMI, an ideal BMI before getting the pregnancy. So it can reduce the risk of pregnancy complications. How did starting the journeys? We start the journeys as a early antenatal course. We now use a focus and at least 4 visits for the persons. In Tissue Hospital, we use the WHO Yangon model 2016. They also asked to return for delivery at 41 weeks if not given birth at EDD. Then another thing is lifestyle modifications. On non-errors, the foods are unhealthy almost least. So you have the lifestyle modification is important before getting the pregnancy. So the women must be asked to quit smoking, stop alcohol consumption. There is no non-safe amount of alcohol used during pregnancies. So if she is the drug abuser, avoid the drug abuse. The risk of stables and substance abusers seen in the slides, tobacco uses, marijuana uses, and any stimulants is associated with the stables of the baby. So lifestyle awareness is important because it is associated with fetal alcohol spectrum disorders. And note the safest approach is not to drink alcohol at all during pregnancy. Then they use some sandwich knife to share the cuttings of meats and vegetables, and it can cause cross contaminations and it can cause any infections. When it starts the journeys, staying hydrated, resting while tired, and exercising as you can do, and managing the symptoms and nutritional supplements. What's essential for the nutrition during pregnancy? It contains macro and micronutrients. Macronutrients, it's the basic 3 types: protein, carbohydrates, and fats, and micronutrients contain folic acids, iron, calcium, vitamin D, omega-3 fatty acids, DHA, and vitamin C, zinc, and iodine. The calcium, according to ECOG, calcium is needed 1,000 milligram per day, ions for some 27 milligram per day, vitamin A is 77 to 700 microgram daily, vitamin C 85 milligram per daily, vitamin D will be 600 international unit per day, and B6 1.6 milligram per day, vitamin B12 we need 2.6 microgram per day. These will be completed from the pregnancy plate. But it may be varies and may be inadequate. How much DHA is recommended for the pregnancy? WHO and FAO joint consultation recommends minimum intake for 200 to 300 milligram per DHA per day and up to 1,000 milligram during pregnancy and lactation. So we would like to know what is a DHA. DHA is already known that one of the main three more research type of omega-3 fatty acids. These are EPA, DHA, and ALA. DHA helps the fetal growth and development. The nutrient has also been linked with cognitive functions, proper blood flow, hydrated skin, cardiovascular health, optimal eye health, and the most. Let's see these in distance. EPA and DHA can be synthesized in the body from dietary sources of ALA, but the conversion rate is very low and variable. Let's know how DHA make baby healthy and smart. DHA supplementations during pregnancy is needed because its neurological, visuals, and cognitive effects. DHA supplementation of the pregnancy may prevent and treat certain pregnancy complications like preeclampsia, gestational diabetes mellitus, preterm birth, intrauterine growth restriction, and postpartum depression. In preeclampsias, the early maternal DHA level may be potentially predictive for pregnancy in PE. Maternal DHA level was significantly altered in patients with PE at the time of delivery. Maternal plasma DHA concentrations of PE patients were significantly lower than that of the normal pregnancy. This is a mechanism of the DHA how can prevent the preeclampsias. For the case of gestational diabetes mellitus, DHA levels in the cord blood of GTN patients were found to be significantly lower than those of the pregnant women with normal blood glucose. Ability of GTN presenter to transport N3-BUF like DHA is decreased. This is a mechanism of DHA can prevent gestational diabetes mellitus. So, effects of the neurological development at 6 months afterwards. Patients with GTM during pregnancy may benefit from DHA supplementation. How DHA can prevent preterm birth? Low plasma DHA and EPA level concentration during pregnancy may be a strong risk factor of preterm birth. This is National Birth Cohort Study 2021. But the mechanism of which DHA levels contribute to preterm labor remain unclear. Daily intake of 200 milligram DHA can decrease the likelihood of preterm birth. How about for intrauterine growth retardation? Mexican study demonstrated that maternal intake of 400 milligram per day, DHA starting at 20 weeks of gestation was associated with larger head circumference at birth. So obstruction of the obstruction of IUGR may benefit from maternal DHA supplementation. How about postpartum depression? EPA, DHA, and total N3-BUF levels are lower in patients with depression, suggesting their role in the pathogenesis of the depression. This is the higher DHA level concentrations in breast milk and higher seafood consumption predict lower prevalence of the postpartum depression. Greater seafood consumption and N3-BUF intake may be protective against postpartum depressions. So, DHA has a potential predictive, preventive, and therapeutic effects of N3-BUF in postpartum depression. Why may be smart babies and then rules of DHA in fetal brain development. How DHA makes baby smart. Especially, human brain is predominantly composed of lipids and phospholipids, making up for 22% of the cerebral cortex and 24% of the white matters, synaptic membranes and astrocytes, myelins, and microsomes and mitochondrial membranes. So, DHA have effects on neurogenesis, neurotransmitters, synaptic plasticity, transmissions, and signal transduction in the membrane. Especially in the third trimester of the pregnancy, Omega-3 fatty acids are selectively transferred to the fetus to meet the demands of rapid brain growth. And DHA accumulates in the fetal brain at the rate of 14.5 milligram per week. So it supports neurological proliferations and decreased neuron apoptosis and supports the brains of infants born before 33 weeks gestations are relatively deficient in DHA compared with brains of the infant born at term. Survivors of the prematurity exhibit permanently reduced gray and white matters of the brain volumes and some of the subtle development abnormalities observed in survivors of the prematurities. Low DHA level in the brain results in behavioral changes and it associated with the learning difficulties and dementias. In humans, the third trimester placenta supplies of maternal DHA to the growing fetus is critically important as the growing brain obligatory requires DHA during the window period. So it is important accumulation of the DHA in the fetal brain occurs continuously throughout the gestation, but the most active during weeks of 29 through weeks 40. DHA is vital for development of the healthy brains and to contribute the entire neural system developments. So DHA is critically required in the neuron degeneration, formations of the synapse during the fetus developments and first 2 years following birth. What you can get the DHA? We have the natural sources of DHA. So many natural sources, and natural source of DHA also seen in this slide. But it can completely rely on these sources because of its needed it's much more and conversion to the active form is lower. These are the natural sources of DHA. Why needs for DHA? The American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists recommend that people eat at least 2 servings, 8 to 12 ounces of fishes or such fish a week for EPA DHA content before getting pregnant, while pregnant and while breastfeeding. So pregnant individual consumes 200 micrograms of DHA per day. And WHO and European perinatal health clinical consensus aligns at the minimum of 200 to 300 milligrams of omega-3 DHA take daily during pregnancy and lactation. Is this enough of DHA from the foods? These are the best sources of DHA, but this is not enough for the needs and requirements and demands of the baby growth. In pregnancy, DHA needs higher and it's hard to cover them through the foods. It is also available as a supplementation, like a fish oil. During the pregnancy, risks of extra contaminants or contaminants like heavy metals and other toxins found in the fish and elsewhere from the natural sources. So the case for a purified omega-3 supplementation source of DHA became even more compelling. Children born to mothers who took fish oil in their pregnancy have been shown to have faster problem-solving skills and better attention focus at age of the teens. According to the finding from the study presented at the 6th World Congress of Pediatric Gastrointestinal Hepatology and Nutrition Conference. Found about DHA in the milk. DHA also contained in the mix is known to deliver DHA to the infants. The average breast milk DHA levels require a dietary intake of estimated 200 milligrams per day of DHA by the mother in order to ensure no depletions of the body store. And found about DHA and infants. Meta-analysis that has been conducted with the data consistent with the conclusion that postnatal DHA supplementation does not benefit infant cognitive development. So, targeted cognitive assessment in infants that better correlate with cognition at school age, measures of cognition at a near school age, and do find significantly benefit for supplementation during pregnancy. These nutrients and supplements to mothers, making the babies and mothers health and to be healthy and smart baby. But the maternal health is also important because the mothers carry the babies until the end of the journey. So the mother must have a birth preparedness and complications. Birth preparedness and complications readiness. It's a strategy. It's timely use of skilled maternal and neonatal, especially during childbirth, being ready for complications and reduce delays in the obtaining cares. And another thing is the traditional home delivery may be moved to the institutional delivery. So we have encouraged harm to moving from home delivery to the institutional delivery. What is institutional delivery and the rates in the Myanmar? Institutional delivery is in Myanmar 54.7%, and postnatal care utilization is 76% from 2020 March 30 MOH NIBIDO data. Myanmar is the one of the lowest rate of using institutional delivery country in ASEAN. Another one is Laos. By using the institutional deliveries, it can assist birth attendants, and it can reduce the stable rates, and it can also reduce the maternal mortality ratio from the antenatal complication. It prevents the maternal and child death and promoting the maternal health. What about the institutional delivery in India? Institutional delivery rate in India is increased from 76% in 2008 to 2009, upgrading to 95.5% in 2021 and 22. And these efforts, by making both mothers and childbirth, is only effort, but it can impact the large amounts on the Sustainable Development Goals of the 2030 about the maternal mortality. The Sustainable Development Goal is continuing with the MGD, Millennium Development Goal in 2015. The objective is maternal mortality fell by 45% since 1990s. How about in Myanmar and MMR? MMR in Myanmar is 179 women dying for 100,000 live births due to pregnancy-related causes in Myanmar. Maternal mortality ratios in Myanmar has improved, but still low, 371 in 2000 to 179 in 2020. What about the global MMR? In 2020, it was 2 to 3 per 100,000 live births. Achieving a global MMR is below 70 by the year 2030. It will require an annual rate reduction of 11.6%, as the rate has rarely been achieved at the national levels. So, SCD 2030 is between 2000 to 2030. The maternal mortality ratio is dropped by 34% worldwide. WHO, February 22nd, 2023. Then, regarding the perinatal mortality, it also contributes Sustainable Development Goal in 2030 in perinatal mortality. It aims to reduce neonatal mortality to at least as low as 12% per 1,000 live births, and end-of-life mortality at least as low as 25 per 1,000 live births. So we care the maternal and child health. It's enhancing the maternal nutrition. We had efforts to combine and complete the targets of the 2030 Sustainable Development Goals. And these are by 2030, according to the perinatal mortality, preventable deaths of the newborns, baby ants, and end-of-life mortality rates are to be reduced. In Myanmar, neonatal mortality rate in 2021 is 22 per 1,000 live births. It is targeted less than 12 in 2030. So by doing and caring the mother and enhancing the maternal nutrition and combines and completes the maternal health, it's an effort to targeted SDG goals. And then we have the goals of obtaining smart and healthy babies. By doing so, our countries and our worlds have a healthy and smart babies and targeting the SDG goals. So this is I wish all mothers and each mothers having healthy and smart babies by enhancing their health. So this is my reference. And wishings, may each and every mother have healthy and smart babies. Thank you for your attention, and thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor, for your interesting academic talk. Now, we have come to the second symposium, We Care Mother and Child Application. May I invite Madam Chairperson, Professor Htet, to conduct this symposium.
Thank you. Well, we're going to continue our second part of the symposium. This section, it's interesting, and we will discuss about the new introduction of the new digital application, We Care Mother and Child applications, to facilitate our antenatal management. I think there will be many questions and to be discussed in the end, and as well as from the senior opinion to improve these applications for the improvement of our ladies' care, women care. We have two speakers in this section. The first speaker is Dr. Binu Joy. He is a CEO from the Health at Home department, and he will going to share the objectives of We Care Mother and Child application. The second speaker is Dr. Lynn Aung. He is a clinical lead of the healthcare at home, and he graduated from the University of Medicine too, our university too, right? And Yangon in 2008, and he had completed MBA from the University of the Wales in 2014, and postgraduate diploma in Transport and Logistic Management in 2017, and he is now serving as a clinical lead at Mega Lifesciences. It's a reputable pharmaceutical company in Yangon, Myanmar, and he experiences in healthcare and health technical management for 10 years. He will going to present about the benefits of a We Care Mother and Child application as a second part. So may I invite the first speaker, Dr. Binu Joy, to share your interesting and objectives of We Care Mother and Child. Thank you.
Minglaba, good afternoon. My name is Binu Joy, and I'm the head of the Health at Home division, which is the digital arm of Mega Lifesciences. It's an honor standing in front of such an august audience of obstetricians and the leads of both the Myanmar Medical Association as well as the OG Society, and to be able to present this. I am primarily a radiologist by training. I was a professor at one of the universities in South India. After 20 years, I moved entirely into digital health to develop applications. So just before I start, I want to give you a quick dedication. When we talk about digital, I want to give a non-digital dedication to start with. This is an experience of mine from about 28 years ago. I was a young MBBS graduate, and I was working in a village in one of the areas of India, southern India. And we didn't have much help there. We didn't have anesthetists. We did not have trained obstetricians even. One night, we got a patient who was about in the 8th month. 32 weeks of gestation, and she came with dragging pain in the abdomen, and that's about it. The vitals were stable. And I was the first one who examined, and I was almost sending her off when my senior doctor, who happened to be someone who had worked in Africa in the past, she was just physician. She said, "No, let's wait. This lady doesn't look too good. We have to keep her in." On her night rounds at about 11 o'clock, things hadn't changed much. Vitals were still stable. And this lady tells me, "I think we need to take her up and open." In my mind, it just didn't make sense. I was just a raw MBBS graduate at that point of time. I said, "Why, ma'am? Why should we do that?" "No, just something which tells me there's something wrong with this person." And we did not have an anesthetist, the old boils bag and all that, and took her up. Skin, subcutaneous, we are all colleagues here, therefore I'm able to explain that. Muscle, open peritoneum, and we could see baby parts. I was shocked. Was this a ruptured uterus? Fortunately for the lady and her now alive kid, it was just about to rupture. There was a previous cesarean which was done about 11 months back. She had conceived again quickly, and there it was. The scar had dehisced, and it would have ruptured for sure that night. This talk is dedicated to all of you, obstetricians and gynecologists, for your clinical experience, which will never be replaced by anything which comes close to technology and the one above who takes care of all of us. So that is my first dedication. Next dedication is what our genesis of creating this application. We are very fortunate to have among us our CEO and chief coach, Mr. Vivek Dhawan. Our vision of the we care part of this organization comes entirely from him, and it flows down from what he says and all the way to us. And for us, it's vital and crucial that while we look at the people around us and the people we impact and our stakeholders, the doctors, the patients, the support staff, we look at health in unison and in toto. And this is to him as well. We dedicate this, and I just wanted to place that on record as well. I will quickly divide this talk into 3 parts. Many places where I go to, be it Africa, be it other parts of Asia, one of the questions which gets asked is, why digital? Let's talk about why digital first before we talk about why We Care Mother app. Why digital itself? So that context will be always important to understand because it addresses many of our pain points. I'll quickly talk about the application, which is the We Care Mother and Child application itself. I have a immensely capable and a far more charming person coming after me to talk about the application in more detail. Usually I do both parts. Today we have a capable person to do it after me. And the third part is going to be working with our doctors. What are the ways in which we can work together and create a more impactful journey in the journey to motherhood? So why a digital support for maternity? Let's look at it first from the pregnant lady's perspective. This is among the most inquisitive periods of our life. This is the time which there is apprehension, but it is laced with also a lot of excitement as to what is coming. So all of us treat it not so much as something to be born and a disease process, but more in the form of how to enjoy the process as well. Even as obstetricians, this is exactly what you tell them. A lot of information is required, and how do we give that information? Are we able to give that information as and when she needs it? There's a slow generational shift which is happening now from the family support of the mother, the grandmother, the elders in the family to now self-reliance and sort of, self-decided ways of doing things. So in that shift, are they able to cope with it? Where are they getting the information from? Now, the age group that we are talking about is increasingly digitally native. A lot of us seniors are digital immigrants. We have come into the digital and we have learned to use the digital tools. While the mothers to be of today, as well as going forward, all of them are going to be digital natives. They live their social lives on the digital. They do their financial transactions on the digital. They even have their emotional support happening on the digital. What is stopping them from accessing healthcare on digital as well? Right? So if we go to them where they are, the chances are they will access and work with care even better. quality information in difficult to access places. Care access is very heterogeneous, and where are they going to access it? Second point I want to delve a little bit about is a pain point of doctors. What is it that the doctors find the pain point? Let me define pain point first. It is the if only aspect of it. If only I had that tool, if only I had something to help with. There's a lot of information asymmetry. In the 10 minutes that we get with the patient, am I able to impart all the information that I want to? Did my patient understand all that I told her to? Once she left my clinic, over the next few days, is she retaining what she heard, or has she forgotten about it? The new things which I learned about this condition, I wish I could tell my patient who had already stepped out of the clinic. Access to communication. How do I reach out to my patient even in that scenario? There's a lack of availability of tracking and context. Many times when the patient comes and we take history, oftentimes it's difficult to make sense of something which the patient tells us from 2 months, 3 months, 2.5 months back. How do we track it? If they are incipient gestational diabetes of their PIH or possible eclampsia in the future, are they recording their values even when they're not with us in the clinic? But are they recording it in a way in which it is measurable and trackable? There's a lack of clear data. There's a lot of data now which sits with everybody in the form of sheets of paper and printouts and so on and so forth. But is it clear data? And is the clear data being stored in a way in which it makes sense to us in the 10 minutes when they come back to us? But this is really important when it comes to patient care, because the time that we get with them are few spots of time. Geographical divides. Care sits in cities while care happens all over the country. Are we able to reach out and help more of them? Can more be done about that? What about our academic and research requirements? Many of us go to conferences and hear caseloads of 5 cases and 10 cases and say, hey, I've seen 25 cases of this. I wish I had recorded this and created a case series myself, rather than listening to somebody who's presenting something, especially in the European context, where the number of cases are so few, but they record it so diligently. In our context, the cases are much larger and our experience is much, much huger, right? So these are the pain points. Now, having said this, for all this, should we have a Swiss knife approach, something which caters to everything? Using the same analogy of the Swiss knife itself, we need to know what each tool is for, and then make sure that the one tool that we have is chosen among the suitable ones from within this Swiss knife that we might call an application, and highlight it to our patients as well. There's an opportunity to personalize. What does personalize mean? Personalizing is essentially making sure that we are treating those patients, the ones who come to us, in the way as a unique individual, we are able to reach out to them. It is not the same as precision medicine. Precision medicine is about using a lot of genetics and epigenetics and doing that. Personalizing means it is possible for any patient of ours, we are able to make sure that we calculate and treat them exactly the way they need to be treated. But there is a learned helplessness that all of us have. That is because we do not have enough information about them and we do not have enough time for them. Can we help with that? Therein comes the importance of data. And it is not only the genetic data which is available or the epigenetic data. It is also about every small thing that we capture. It could be the blood pressure, the sugars, even their food habits. Anything which is captured will help tailor and customize care for them better. And please don't look at it as an either or journey. Either we can personalize it or we can't personalize it. This is not like that. Every extra point that we get, we are able to help them that much better. So no data is worthless and every data is useful. Beyond clinical, of course, there is anxiety alleviation and the sense of control which they need to have over their pregnancy and their unborn baby, the visibility to plan for their gestation. They need to plan themselves, the pregnant woman, and the community formation. That is very important here as well. So quickly, end of session 1, the first bit of it. What are the things that we need to do with digital? We need to bridge the gaps as we see it and as we recognize it. Second bit is to be able to trigger alerts wherever it is there, so that they don't have to wait for for the next consultation 1 month later to come and tell us that I stopped getting fetal movements about 4 days back or 5 days back or 1 month back. They should be able to do it immediately. The possible connect, ability to triage between the patients who need quick care versus the ones who can wait and have routine care, research and academics, of course. So with that, let me just move to the second bit. I'm going a little fast because time is also at a premium. The maternity platform itself. I will not delve too much into it because Dr. Lynn is going to talk in detail about the features, but I want to talk about a few key things here broadly. The application itself it provides accurate and reliable information right across the board. There is monitoring of fetal and maternal parameters, which are there, fetal parameters in the form of baby movements and so on. And also it supports healthy behavior, nutrition, movement, water, sleep, emotion, everything can be tracked via the application itself. There are multiple trackers within this. Dr. Lynn will explain in a little bit more detail as to what all will be done. One thing I want to sort of emphasize here is whatever we make a pregnant lady do on an application, if she has to input something, she should understand why is she inputting it. And secondly, she should know how to input it. What is the value for her to input anything to track later? So guides and helps would be available for every single thing the pregnant lady does within the application. That brings me to the next point, which is localization. We are very, very clear and sure that we want to have the application available in our local language, Burmese. And localization, I put a slide with a single word localization on it for one important reason. Localization is not translation. Translation is just literal translation of what is available in another language, in our case, probably English, the base language, to our vernacular language. That is not localization for us. Localization is being culturally sensitive and respectful to the population that we are working with. One, to make the access and communication best. And second, so that they feel that it comes from within them, for them. And I again emphasize one more thing with localization. The intention is to work with all of you, co-create content, which we can feature in the application itself. It could be in the form of classes, it could be in the form of blogs, whatever it is. But this is something, when it comes from home, there is nothing like that. And it's identified as such by our patients as well. So how do we work together? So initially, when we thought of creating this application, it was for the mother to be. Anybody who's pregnant can just download and start using the application. As we started getting feedback, quickly we realized this needs to be a connected application because a lot of doctors in many countries, Myanmar as well as other countries, said that why don't we create something which is for us to have a visibility to what is happening to our patients. And then we realized the importance of that because it may not be relevant to every single patient who comes, but there is a set of high risk and special category patients which every doctor has, a 5 to 10%, who they want to keep a closer eye on for sure, who might get worse if they have, if that oversight is not there. If you wait for too long a period of time, by the time they come back next, the outcomes may not be as good, right? So this is crucial. So we have gone ahead and created something which is of value to the doctors as well. So we have a doctor's dashboard now. So any of our obstetricians, if they want to have a connected experience with their patient, this dashboard is available and it can be accessed. It's best accessed on your screens, which are your PCs or laptops and tablets and so on. But it can very well be accessed on the fly on your phone as well. You can download it and use it, and all your patients can be onboarded, and you can click on the patient and you'll get all the key parameters of your patient, whatever clinically she has input into the system. You will have full visibility to that. This also comes with flags and so on, so that it is easy for you to reach out if there is an issue, and then call her back to the clinic if need be on a priority basis. This would enhance the overall experience of the mother, as well as save a whole lot of morbidity going forward. This is how you can access it on the mobile as well, even though the best experience is on a larger screen because it's a dashboard. before I finish my last 2-3 slides, one is about the care ecosystem. Nothing in healthcare is sitting in boxes or in silos. It all needs to work together. So who all needs to work together as far as our care ecosystem goes? The doctors, all care providers, the mothers to be, of course, and in this case, the platform which forms the tool or the base for them to be connected together. Social networks, while we do all this, we should not negate the effect of people who get all their information on social networks as well. We also should be present there. We also should make sure that the credible information sits there. Community formation is one of the great times when peer-to-peer information giving and respect for the peer, who, like an older sister who's able to give that information, happens. Creating content together to make it the most relevant content. Content today may not be the best that is there for them, but by tomorrow, our goal should be to do that and keeping on getting better, and it keeps changing. And campaigns to make sure that all this, it underpins this, whatever we spoke about so far. Quickly, my last 2 slides about the platform itself. With any digital platform, there are concerns about the digital platform. What about the security? What about the privacy? What about the data loss? How do you make sure you do all those things? So one of the things is to make sure that the technology is so robust that it complies and it fits with the best that is out there in the most stringent of situations. So we have gone for technology which is native to every platform. The ones who have iOS, we have a separate iOS platform for them. For Android, we have a separate one for them, and for the web as well. So it's there across all platforms. The doctor's dashboard, we've created it as a more stringent web application alone at this point of time, because it's a connected application. Therefore, we need to be even more careful because it's being shared with the doctor. So there has to be an element of close connect and consenting, which is required there as well. We comply with all the stringent rules right across the board, both for healthcare, which is the HIPAA compliance, as well as the European GDPR, which is accepted worldwide. Now, what our thought is, as we go to different countries, is that if any given country's rules are more stringent than the GDPR itself, then we would strive to follow what is there for the country, which is more stringent than the European GDPR rules. So with that, I'll stop for now because I have another informative talk coming after this. So QR code, it's available here on any of the assets which are there outside as well. This is the patient's application. Anyone can click and download. It's available in Myanmar already. And it is there already localized in Burmese. Of course, if the preference is to go back and access the English, it's available in English as well. With that, thank you. Thank you for a patient listening, and it's an honor. Yeah.
မင်္ဂလာပါ Good afternoon. My name is Dr. Lynn Aung. It is an honor to be standing in front of professors, my mentor, and distinguished guests. For convenience for myself and the audience, I will speak in local language. So I hope I will get a lot of questions after the session. ဒီ presentation ပေါ့နော်ဒီပွဲမစခင် Professor ဦးအောင်စီတော့ကျွန်တော်နှစ်ခါလောက်ရောက်တယ်ပေါ့နော်နှစ်ခါလောက်ရောက်တော့ဆရာနဲ့ discussion လုပ်ဆရာ question တွေဖြေတဲ့အခါကျတော့ကျွန်တော်45နဲ့ကျွန်တော်ဆောင်းဝဲကြတယ်နော်ဒီရပြီးတော့ကျွန်တော်48 moderation နဲ့ကျွန်တော်အောင်မယ်လို့ထင်ပါနော်ဆရာကျွန်တော်နည်းနည်းမျက်နှာသာလေးပေးပေါ့နော်အားလုံးမင်္ဂလာပါဒီနေ့ကျွန်တော်ပြောမယ့်အကြောင်းအရာတော့ဒါ weekend mother and child ပေါ့နော် weekend mother and child ကျွန်တော်ဒီ mobile application ကိုကျွန်တော်မိတ်ဆက်ပေးသွားမှာဖြစ်ပါတယ်ဒီအားလုံးပဲကြည့်ပါတယ်ပေါ့နော်လူငယ်တယောက်နော်ကလေးတယောက်ဖြစ်လာဖို့အဓိကအမေပေါ့နော်အမေကကျန်းမာနေမှာအမေကဒီ antenatal care ကိုကောင်းကောင်းမွန်မွန်ဒီပြုစုနိုင်တည်နေမှသာလေကျွန်တော်တို့ဒီကလေးတယောက်ကိုကောင်းကောင်းမွန်မွန်မွေးဖွားနိုင်မှာဖြစ်ပါတယ်ပေါ့နော်ဒါကြောင့်မလို့ကျွန်တော်ဒီ application ဟာဆိုရင်အမေကိုလုံးဝ empowering ပေးထားတယ်ဆိုတဲ့အဓိပ္ပာယ်ပါပဲဒီမန္တာပေါ့နော်မိခင်တယောက်မှဒီကိုဝင်စရလာပြီဆိုရင်အဓိကဒီစိုးရင်တာတော့ဒီကိုဝင်ကို6 လလွယ်10 လဖွာပေါ့နော်ကောင်းကောင်းမွန်မွန်ဒီ journey ကိုဘယ်လိုဖြတ်တန်းရမလဲဆိုပြီးတော့ဒီစိုးရင်စိတ်ရှိလာပေါ့နော်ဒီတော့အခုခေတ်ပေါ် modern technology တွေကျွန်တော်တို့ဖြစ်ပေါ်လာပေါ်လာတဲ့အခါမှာဆိုရင်ဒီ mobile ကလူတိုင်းမှာရှိလာတယ်လူတိုင်းမှာရှိတဲ့အခါကျတော့ဒီ mobile ကနေပြီးတော့ကျွန်တော်တို့တည်တင်တည်ထိုက်တဲ့ information တည်နေကြတဲ့ data တွေကိုကျွန်တော်တို့ save လုပ်နိုင်တဲ့ရည်ရွယ်ချက်နဲ့ကျွန်တော်ဒီ weekend mother and child application ကိုကျွန်တော်တို့ဖန်တီးထားခြင်းဖြစ်ပါတယ်ဒီတော့ဒီ application ရဲ့အကျိုးကျေးဇူးကဘာလဲရှိမလဲဆိုရင်သူက monitor လေးလုပ်လို့ရသလိုကျွန်တော်တို့ဒီကိုသိချင်တဲ့ဒီ data information တွေအကုန်လုံးကို tracking လိုက်လို့ရပါတယ်။ဘောကဒီ app ထဲမှာ data ထည့်ထားရဆိုရင်ကိုယ့်ရဲ့နေ့စဉ်ဒီလှုပ်ရှားမှုကိုယ့်ရဲ့နေ့စဉ် activity အကုန်လုံးကို track လိုက်လို့ရတယ်။လူနာပဲ track လိုက်လို့ရတာမဟုတ်ဘူးဆရာဝန်ကလည်းအကယ်၍ concern ဖြစ်တဲ့ခါကျရင် share data ဘီနူမိတ်ဆက်ပေးသွားသလိုဆရာဝန်ကကိုယ့်ရဲ့ dashboard မှာပဲဖြစ်ဖြစ်ကိုယ့်ရဲ့ tablet မှာဖြစ်ဖြစ်ဒီလူနာအကြောင်းကို tracking လိုက်လို့ရပါတယ်ပထမဦးဆုံးပေါ့နော်ဒီ mobile application ကိုအသုံးပြုမယ်ဆိုရင်ကျွန်တော်တို့က platform 2 မျိုးရှိတယ်ပေါ့နော် iOS ရှိမယ် Android ရှိမယ်ဒီ platform ကနေပြီးတော့ကျွန်တော်တို့ mobile ကနေပြီးတော့ကျွန်တော်တို့ဒီ download ဆွဲလိုက်ပြီဆိုရင်ဒီပထမဆုံးတွေ့ရမယ်ဒီ home screen လေးမြင်ရပါပေါ့နော်ဒီ home screen မှာဆိုရင်ကျွန်တော်တို့ပထမဆုံး application ရဲ့ထုံးစံတိုင်းပေါ့နော်sign up လုပ်ရတယ်ပေါ့နော် sign up လုပ်တဲ့အခါမှာကျွန်တော်တို့က Apple သုံးနေဆိုရင် Apple ID ကိုသုံးလို့ရတယ်ဒါမှမဟုတ် Gmail ပဲသုံးနေဆိုရင် Gmail ကိုအသုံးပြုလိုက်ရတယ်ဒါမှမဟုတ်ဒီ other option ဆိုတာဖုန်းနံပါတ်ပေါ့နော်ဖုန်းနဲ့ကျွန်တော်တို့ sign up လုပ်မယ်ဆိုရင် sign up လုပ်လို့ရပါတယ်မိမိနှစ်သက်ရာကိုကျွန်တော်တို့ဒီ sign up လုပ်လို့ရတယ်ဆိုတဲ့ option ကိုပေးထားခြင်းဖြစ်ပါတယ်ဒါပထမဆုံးကိုက sign up ဝင်သွားပြီဆိုရင်ဒုတိယ slide လေးမှာကျွန်တော်တို့မြင်ရလိမ့်မယ်ပေါ့နော်အမေကကိုယ့်ရဲ့ဒီ information ပေါ့နော်ဒီကိုယ့်ရဲ့နာမည်ဖြည့်လို့ရတယ်ကိုယ့်ရဲ့ဖုန်းနံပါတ်ဖြည့်လို့ရတယ်ပေါ့နော်ပြီးရင်တတိယဆိုရင်အမေမှာကိုက last menstrual period ပေါ့နော် LMP ကိုကျွန်တော်တို့တည်ရင်တော့ဖြည့်လို့ရတယ်ကဲမတည်ဘူးဆိုရင်တော့ skip သွားလို့ရတယ်နောက်ပိုင်းကျမှဒီ ultrasound ရိုက်ပြီးတော့မှပဲဖြစ်ဖြစ်ဆရာဝန်နဲ့ဆွေးနွေးပြီးတော့မှဖြစ်ဖြစ်ကိုတည်တယ်ဆိုရင်ပြန်ဖြည့်လို့ရတယ်နော်ဒါ home screen ပေါ့နော်အကယ်၍ခုနကကျွန်တော်တို့ data တွေကိုဖြည့်ပြီးသွားတဲ့ခါကျရင်ဒီ home screen လေးကိုကျွန်တော်တို့တွေ့ရပါလိမ့်မယ်ပထမဆုံးဒီ home screen လေးမှာသတိထားမိလားမသိဘူးဒီကလေးငယ်ငယ်လေးပေါ့နော်ဒီကလေးငယ်ငယ်လေးကဒီ home screen မှာဒီပထမဆုံးလာနှူးတဲ့အချိန်မှာဆိုရင်သူ့ရဲ့ size လေးတေးသေးလေးဒီဟာလေးဆိုဒီ animation လေးကဒီလိုလူကောင်လေးမပေါ်သေးဘူးပေါ့နော်ဒီဩဇာတီလောက်ဒါမှမဟုတ်ရင်လည်းဒီဂုံးလောက်ပေါ့နော်အဲ့လို size လေးသေးလေးပဲပေါ်လာတာကိုကျွန်တော်တို့တွေ့ရမှာဖြစ်ပါတယ်ပြီးရခါကျရင်ဒီအောက်မှာကျွန်တော်တို့ဒီ tracker အနေနဲ့ဘာတွေ့ရလဲဆိုရင်အကယ်၍အမေကကိုယ်ဝင်ဆောင်တဲ့အချိန်မှာ water and fluid ကိုကျွန်တော်တို့တောက်သုံးရပါတယ်အဲ့တောက်သုံးတာကိုနေ့စဉ်မှတ်ထားမယ်ဆိုရင်ကျွန်တော်တို့ဒီနေရာလေးမှာ home screen လေးမှာပေါ်နေမှာဖြစ်ပါတယ်နောက်ပြီးခါကျရင်ဒီအမေကစီကံသွားတဲ့ weight chain နဲ့ဒီ weight ရဲ့ဒီအလေးချိန်ကိုဒီ data ထဲထည့်ထားမယ်ဆိုရင်ကျွန်တော် weight tracker အနေနဲ့ကျွန်တော်တွေ့ရမှာဖြစ်ပါတယ်နောက်တစ်ခါကျ trimester ပေါ့နော်ဒီမှာတော့ second trimester ရောက်သွားပြီပေါ့နော်တကယ်၍ဒီအမေယာကိုလာနုသေးတယ် first trimester ပဲရှိသေးတယ်ဆိုရင်တော့ဒီနေရာမှာ first trimester ဆိုရင်ပေါ်မှာဖြစ်ပါတယ်ဒီကောင်လေးတွေပေါ်ပြီးတော့ပြီးသွားပြီလားဆိုမဟုတ်ပါဘူးเนาะဒီကောင်လေးတွေတိချင်အထဲကိုဒီထပ်ပြီးတော့နှိပ်လိုက်တဲ့ခါကျရင်ဒီကိုယ့်ရဲ့ information အကြောင်းအရာတွေကိုကျွန်တော်တို့ library အနေနဲ့ကျွန်တော်တို့တွေ့ရမှာဖြစ်ပါတယ်ဟုတ်နော် library မှာအမျိုးမျိုးရှိတယ်ပေါ့နော် video ဝါသနာပိုင်းသူက video အကြောင်းကိုလေ့လာလို့ရမယ် audio ဝါသနာပိုင်းသူက audio ကိုနားထောင်လို့ရမယ် ကဲပြီးဒီစာဖတ်ဝါဒနာဘက်ဆို article လေးတွေကိုကျွန်တော်တို့ဖတ်လို့ရမှာဖြစ်ပါတယ်ဒီ function အခုချိန်မှာတော့ကျွန်တော်တို့ develop လုပ်နေတဲ့ stage ဆိုတော့ကျွန်တော်တို့ဒီဟာလေးတွေကိုအပြည့်ပြည့်စုံစုံတော့မထည့်ထားသေးဘူးပေါ့နော်နောက်ပိုင်းမှာဆိုရင်တော့ကျွန်တော်တို့ပို့ပြီးတော့ information ရအောင်ပို့ပြီးတော့ education ဖြစ်အောင်လို့ကျွန်တော်တို့ထည့်သွားပေးမှာဖြစ်ပါတယ်ဒါပေါ့နော်ကျွန်တော်တို့ပထမဆုံးဒီ library အကြောင်းအရာလေးကိုဒီစင်ချင်းပြောပြဖြစ်သွားဒါ audio ပေါ့နော်တခါကျရင်ဟိုစာဖတ်ပြင်းတဲ့လူပဲဖြစ်ဖြစ်နော် video ကြည့်ရတာမျက်လုံးညောင်းရင်ကိုယ့်ရဲ့ audio ဒီပေါ့နော်ဆရာဝန်တယောက်ရဲ့ audio အတန်လေးကိုနားထောင်လို့ရတယ်ပေါ့နော် education နေတယ်ဒါကအမေဒါမဟုတ်သုံးတဲ့သူရဲ့ profile setting ကိုတည်ဆောက်ခြင်းဖြစ်ပါဒီ profile setting ကိုဘာလို့တည်ဆောက်ရလဲဆိုရင်တခါကျရင်ကိုယ့်ရဲ့ patient ပထမဆုံးဒီနေ့တော့ Samsung သုံးတယ်နော်နောက်တစ်လထပ်လိုက်ကြရင်နောက်အသစ်ဖုန်းတစ်လုံးပေါ်လာတဲ့ခါကျရင်နောက်ဖုန်းတစ်လုံးပြောင်းလာ iPhone ပဲပြောင်းသွားပါတော့ဒီလိုမျိုးပြောင်းလဲသွားဖုန်းဘယ်လောက်ပဲပြောင်းကျွန်တော်တို့ဒီထက် data တွေနဲ့ကျွန်တော်တို့ပြန်ပြီးတော့ကိုယ့်ရဲ့ data တွေကိုမပြောင်းမပြတ်အောင်tracking လုပ်လို့ရသလို trace လိုက်လို့ရပါတယ်ပေါ့နော်ဘာဖြစ်လဲဆိုတော့ကျွန်တော်တို့ဒီ data တွေကိုတင်ထားတာဒီကျွန်တော်တို့ကကုတ်ကတယ်လီဖုန်းရော Gmail နဲ့တင်ထားဖြစ်တဲ့ကြောင့်မလို့ဖုန်းဘလော့ပဲပြောင်းကိုယ့်ရဲ့ data တွေက loss မဖြစ်ဘူးပေါ့နော်ဒီ Gmail နဲ့ဖုန်းနံပါတ်ကိုပြန်သုံးတဲ့ခါကျရင်ဒီ application မှာပါတဲ့ help အကြောင်းလေးကြောင်းရှင်းပြပေးပါမယ်ဒါကကျွန်တော်တို့ help ဆိုတဲ့ဒီ column လေးပေါ့နော်ဒီ column လေးမှာပါတဲ့အကြောင်းအရာတွေကပထမဆုံးဘာပါမလဲဆိုရင် belly circumference ပေါ့နော်ကျွန်တော်တို့ဒီမိခင်ကကိုယ့်ရဲ့ဘိုက်ထဲမှာနောက်ထပ်လူသားတယောက်ကိုview site နေရာဖြစ်တဲ့ကြောင့်မလို့ belly ကတဖြည်းဖြည်းနဲ့ကြီးလာတယ်ပေါ့နော်အဲ့ဒါကိုကျွန်တော်တို့အမြဲတမ်းစေကန်းသွားတာဖြစ်ဖြစ်နော်ဆေးရုံတက်တာဖြစ်ဖြစ်တိုင်းတာတဲ့ခါကျရင်ကျွန်တော်တို့အဲ့ထက်မှာတိုင်းတဲ့ခါမှာကျွန်တော်တို့ belly လေးကိုကျွန်တော်တို့မှတ်ထားလို့ရတယ်ပေါ့နော်နောက်ခါကျရင်အခုခစ်ပေါ့နော်အခုခစ်စားတာဗာလဲဆိုရင်ကိုမွေးဖွားခံနေကြရင်ကျွန်တော်တို့ဒီ belly picture လေးရိုက်တယ်ပေါ့နော်မိခင်ကအမှတ်တရအနေနဲ့အဲ့လိုမျိုးပုံလေးရိုက်တဲ့ခါမှာဆိုလေဒီ application ထဲမှာကိုယ့်ရဲ့အလှတတ်ပုံပေါ့နော်အဲ့ဒါကိုအမှတ်တရအနေနဲ့ထိမ့်သိမ်းထားလို့ရပါတယ်နောက်က weight tracking ပေါ့နော် weight ကတော့ကျွန်တော်တို့အိမ်မှာနေလဲတိုင်းလို့ရတယ်စေယုံစေကန်းသွားနေလဲတိုင်းလို့ရတယ်ကိုတိုင်းတဲ့အခါမှာကိုယ့်ရဲ့ weight tracking ကိုဟိုတိုင်းတဲ့အချိန်တိုင်းဒီထဲမှာမှတ်ထားလို့ရတယ်ပေါ့နော်တဘောကစာရွက်စာတမ်းမှာမှတ်ထားကိုကျွန်တော်တို့ဖုန်းထဲမှာမှတ်ခြင်းအပြင်ဘာအကျိုးကျေးဇူးရှိလဲဆိုရင်ကျွန်တော်တို့ဒီမှာ graph လေးကိုတွေ့ရလိမ့်မယ်ပေါ့နော်ဒီ graph လေးကကိုယ့်ရဲ့ကလေးတဖြည်းဖြည်းကြီးလာတာနဲ့မြပုံမှန်ဆိုရင်ပေါ့နော်အမေက weight ကပိုများလာမှာပေါ့နော်ဒါကိုကျွန်တော်တို့ဒီမှာ weight tracker လေးနေနဲ့ကျွန်တော်တို့မြင်ရမှာဖြစ်ပါတယ် graph လေးကိုနော်အခုက blood pressure ပေါ့နော် blood pressure ဒီလဲကျွန်တော်တို့ဒီကိုဝင်ဆောင်မိခင်မှာအရေးကြီးပါတယ်ဒါဆိုလဲကိုစေုံစေကန်းမှာသွေးပေါင်ချိန်အဖြေကိုတည်တိုင်းဒီ app လေးထဲမှာထည့်ထားခြင်းအပြင်ကိုမှာဒီသွေးပေါင်ချိန်ဒီအပြောင်းလဲလေးကိုဒီ graph လေးနဲ့လေ့လာနိုင်မှာဖြစ်ပါတယ်ဒီ graph လေးအကုန်လုံးကတကယ်တော့လူနာလဲကြည့်လို့ရသလိုကိုပြနေတဲ့ consultant ပေါ့နော်ဆရာဝန်ကလည်းသူ့ရဲ့ desktop ပေါ်မှာဒီ graph လေးကိုကြည့်လို့ရပါတယ်တကယ်ဒီလူနာရဲ့ခုန ID ကိုရိုက်ထည့်လိုက်ပြီဆိုတာနဲ့ဒီလူနာထည့်တဲ့ data graph တွေကိုတစ်ခါတည်းတွေ့ရမှာဖြစ်ပါတယ်ဒါကတော့ water and fluid ပေါ့နော်စားတော့ water ပဲဆရာကြီးက fluid လည်းထည့်ရမယ်ဆိုရင်ကျွန်တော်ထည့်ပေးထားပါတယ်နော်ဆရာတမှတ်ရပြီနော်ဒါကတော့ကျွန်တော်တို့ပေါ့နော်မိခင်ကိုဝင်ဆောင်မိခင်နေနဲ့ပေါ့နော် fluid ကိုဒါမြန် water ကိုလူတမန်လူထက်ပို့ပြီးတော့တောက်တော့ရပါတယ်ပေါ့နော်ကျွန်တော်အဲ့ဒါတွေကိုကျွန်တော်တို့ဒီထဲမှာမှတ်ထားလို့ရပါတယ်ဒါဆိုရင်ကိုကမှတ်ထားတဲ့ခါမှာဆိုရင်ဒီနေ့တနေ့တာတောက်ရမယ်တူပေါ့နော်ပမာဏရောက်လားမရောက်လားကိုမိခင်နေနဲ့ကိုကနေကိုလေးလာလို့ရတယ်ပေါ့နော်ဒါကတော့ mood ပေါ့နော် mood ကတော့ဒါ emoji ပေါ့နော် emoji ကတော့ကျွန်တော်တို့ဒီအခုနောက်ပိုင်းဒီလူငယ်တွေမှာပေါ့နော်ကျွန်တော်တို့ခေတ်စားတယ်ပေါ့နော် Facebook မှာလည်း emoji ပေါ့နော်ဒါပေမဲ့ကိုယ်ဆောင်မိခင်နေနဲ့တော့တစ်ခါကျရင်သူတို့က mood swing ဖြစ်တဲ့ခါကျတော့ကိုယ့်ရဲ့အမျိုးသားကိုစကားမပြောချင်ဒီက emoji တစ်ခုကိုပြပြီးတော့ပေါ့နော်အချက်ပြလို့ရတယ်ပေါ့နော်နော်တစ်ခုကိုရွေးလိုက်ပြီးတော့ဒါ mood ပေါ့နော် sometimes ပေါ့နော် sometimes ကတော့ကျွန်တော်တို့ဒီထဲမှာထည့်ထားတယ်ပေါ့နော်သဘောကဘာဖြစ်လဲဆိုရင်တစ်ခါကျရင်မိခင်ကခေါင်းမူတာပဲဖြစ်ဖြစ်ခေါင်းကိုက်တဲ့ခါဖြစ်ဖြစ် တခုခုပေါ့နော်သူခံစားရတယ်ဘာလို့ဆိုတော့ဒီကိုဝင်ရင့်လာတဲ့ချိန်မှာဒီဟော်မုန်းတွေလည်းဒီပြောင်းလဲမှုဖြစ်တဲ့ကြောင့်မလို့ဒီ emotion ကအရန်ကို mood swing ဖြစ်တယ်ပေါ့နော်အဲ့ခါကျတော့စိုးရင်စိတ်ပုံများတဲ့ခါကျရင်ကိုကဘာဖြစ်မှန်းမသိဘူးပေါ့နော်အဲ့တော့ခါကျကိုဖြစ်တဲ့ဟာလေးကိုပထမအနေနဲ့ sorry ပထမအနေနဲ့ကိုကဒီရွေးလိုက်မယ်ဆိုရင်ဒုတိယအနေနဲ့သူကဒီကိုခံစားရတဲ့ဟာရဲ့ဖြစ်နိုင်သော option တွေကိုကျွန်တော်တို့ဒီဒါဒုတိယမှာတွေ့ရတယ်နော်ဒါဆိုရင်အဲ့လို option လေးကိုတွေ့ရခါကျရင်ဒီ option နဲ့ပတ်သက်ပြီးတော့ကိုကဘာလုပ်ရမလဲဆိုတဲ့ဟာကိုဒီနောက်ပိုင်းမှာဗီဒီယိုဖြစ်ဖြစ် paper ဖြစ်ဖြစ်ကျွန်တော်တို့ဖတ်လို့ရတယ်ပေါ့နော်ဒါပေမဲ့ဒါက curative မဟုတ်ဘူးပေါ့နော်ဒါက just ဘယ်လိုပြောမလဲpalliative ဘယ်လိုပြောမလဲဒါကတော့ဟိုတကယ် underlying cause ဆိုတော့ရှိမှာပေါ့နော်ဒါပေမဲ့သူ့ရဲ့ emotion နဲ့သူ့ရဲ့ mindfulness ကိုရုံးစုံ cool down လုပ်ပေးတာပေါ့နော်တကယ်တော့ဟို therapeutic အနေနဲ့တော့ underlying ကိုရှာမှာဖြစ်ပါတယ်ဒါတော့ kick ကောင်တာပေါ့နော် kick ကောင်ကတော့ဟိုကျွန်တော်ငယ်ငယ်တုန်းကတော့အများနဲ့တာလီချိုးခိုင်းတယ်ပေါ့နော်ဒါပေမဲ့ဒီခေတ်မှာတော့တာလီချိုးတာတွေတော့မရှိတော့ဘူးဒါပေမဲ့အမေအနေနဲ့ကိုယ့်ရဲ့ကလေးကလာရင်လာလို့လှုပ်လာတဲ့ခါကိုသူ့အနေနဲ့တခါကလေး kick တိုင်းဒီနေရာလေးမှာဒီအောင်လေးကိုနှိပ်လိုက်လို့ရတယ်အဲ့ကောင်လေးကိုနှိပ်လိုက်တဲ့ခါကျရင်ဒီကောင်လေးကသူ့ဘာသူတက်သွားတယ်ပေါ့နော်ကိုမအိတ်ချိန်မှာကိုယ့်ရဲ့သားလေးပဲဖြစ်ဖြစ်သမီးလေးပဲဖြစ်ဖြစ်ဘယ်နှကြိမ်ကိုကန်လဲဆိုတာကိုမှတ်ထားလို့ရတယ်ပေါ့နော်ကြီးလိုက်ပြန်ပြပါနေငါ့ဘယ်နှကြိမ်အောင်ကန်ခဲ့တာဆိုပြီးတော့နော်အဲ့တော့ checklist ပေါ့နော်ကျွန်တော်တို့ကိုဝင်ဆောင်မိခင်တိုင်းမှာ checklist ဆိုတာတော့ရှိတယ်ပေါ့နော်ဒါဆိုရင် first trimester မှာဘာလုပ်သင့်တယ်လဲ second trimester မှာဘာလုပ်သင့်လဲ third trimester မှာဘာလုပ်သင့်တယ်လဲပြီးရင်မွေးဖွားတဲ့အချိန်ဘုသဖြင့်ဆေးရုံဆေးကန်သွားတော့မယ်ဆိုရင်ဘာတွေကိုတည်သွားတင်တယ်ဆိုတဲ့ဒီ checklist ကိုကိုပါနီကိုမိခင်နေနဲ့တည်ဆောက်လို့ရတယ်ဒီ first trimester မှာကိုလုပ်ခဲ့တဲ့အကြောင်းအရာကတော့ဒီ checklist ကတော့ကိုပြတဲ့ဆရာဝန်နဲ့တော့ဆိုင်တာပေါ့နော်။ဆရာဝန်ကြီးကဒီ blood test စစ်ဖို့လုပ်မယ်။နောက်ပြီးခါကျရင် vaccines ထိုးဖို့လုပ်မယ်။ဒါတွေကိုဆရာဝန်ရဲ့ညွှန်ကြားချက်တွေကိုOPD စာအုပ်ထဲမှာလည်းမှတ်ထားသလိုဒီ application ထဲမှာလည်းမှတ်ထားပြီးတော့ကိုတစ်ခါလုပ်ပူးသွားတဲ့ခါကျအမှတ်ကလေးချစ်သွားတယ်ဒန်းဆိုရဖြစ်တယ်ပေါ့နော်။ဒါဆိုရင်မိခင်တွေနဲ့ဒီဆရာဝန်ညွှန်ကြားတဲ့ဒီ checklist ကိုလုံးဝမမေ့မလျော့ပဲနေပေါ့နော်အချိန်ပြီးလှုပ်ဆောင်နိုင်မယ်ပေါ့နော်နောက်တစ်ခုကတော့ဒါ diary ပေါ့နော် diary ကတော့ကိုကတနေ့တာကျွန်တော်တို့မိခင်ကခုနမနေ့မိုးလင်းကနေစပြီးတော့သူအိတ်တဲ့အချိန်ကြီးပေါ့နော်သူရဲ့ခံစားရတဲ့ခုနက data တွေကိုသူပုံမှန်တိုင်းထည့်သွားမယ်ဆိုရင်ညအိယာဝန်ခံနီးမှာပေါ့နော်ကျွန်တော်တို့ကြည့်လို့ရတယ်ပေါ့နော်ငါတစ်နေ့လုံးဘာတွေလုပ်သွားလဲဆိုတာကိုကိုယ့်ရဲ့ဒီ activity တွေကိုတနေ့တာကို tracking လိုက်လို့ရတဲ့အနေနဲ့ diary လေးနဲ့မှတ်ထားလို့ရပါတယ်ဒါ clinical document ဒါကတော့ဆေးရုံဆေးကန်းသွားတယ်ပေါ့နော်ဆေးရုံဆေးကန်းသွားတဲ့ခါကျရင်အခုကလူတိုင်းကဓာတ်ပုံလည်းရိုက်တက်ပြီးနော် Facebook ပေါ်လည်း upload လုပ်တက်တယ်ပေါ့နော်အဲ့လိုပဲကျွန်တော်တို့ဒီကိုယ့်ရဲ့မှတ်တမ်းစာအုပ်အထူးသဖြင့်ဆရာဝန်ညွှန်ကြားချက်ဆရာဝန်ပေးလိုက်တဲ့ဆေးဆရာဝန်စစ်ခိုင်းလိုက်တဲ့ lab test တွေကိုအကုန်လုံးဓာတ်ပုံရိုက်ပြီးတော့ဒီ app မှာတင်ထားလို့ရတယ်ဒါဆိုရင်ဘာရည်ရွယ်ချက်ဘာကောင်းကျိုးရှိလဲပေါ့နော်ကောင်းကျိုးကတော့ next OBD မှာစာရွက်ကြံခဲ့တာဖြစ်ဖြစ်စာရွက်ပျောက်သွားတာဖြစ်ဖြစ်ဒီ app မှာတင်ထားတဲ့အတွက်အချိန်မီဒီ app ထဲမှာပဲပြန်ကြည့်လို့ရတယ်ပေါ့နော်slide ကတော့ဒီလောက်ပါပဲเนาะဟိုမေးစရာဆရာမတို့နဲ့မေးစရာရှိတဲ့ခါကျရင်တော့Q&A session မှာမေးနိုင်ပါတယ်အားလုံးကျေးဇူးတင်ပါတယ်
Thank you, Professor and speakers, for your interesting presentation. According to our agenda, it is the time for the question and answer session. May I invite Honorable Patron and Madam Chairpersons, Dr. Binu, and speakers onto the stage for the question and answer session.
Well, we reached the Q&A section and after interesting presentation. So I think there might be many questions to be asked to the speakers for the first section as well as for the second section. Thank you.
Thida ကိုမေးစရာများရှိလား
For maternal nutrition and the smart baby. How smart, yeah? Smart baby မွေးဖို့အင်တန်ပေါ့ပြောရမယ်ဆိုတော့ long journey ပါနောက်တစ်ခုကဆရာကြီးမပြောရင်နည်းနည်းရှာရှိလိုက်ကျမရဲ့အတွေ့အကြုံပါနော်ဒီ optimum outcome ရဖို့ကအင်တန်တော့OG မှာလည်းတာဝန်ကြီးတယ်အကုန်လုံးပေါ့နော်မိခင်မှာလည်း stress ဖို့ဖြစ်ရမကြသေးခင်ကပဲကျမခုနပြောလို့ပေါ့နော်ဒီမကောင်းတဲ့ baby လေး high drops လေးတယောက်ကိုကျမမျှော်လင့်ပဲနဲ့ elective မှာမွေးခဲ့ဘူးတယ်ဒါပေမဲ့သူက throughout the journey မှာတော့အကောင်းဆုံးเนาะအမေရောကလေးရောမေရောကျမကိုကြိုးစားတယ်တိုးတော့လေ because of the age လဲတော့ပါတာပေါ့42လဲဖြစ်တယ်အဲ့လိုပေါ့မျောလင့်ထားတဲ့ဒီ undesirable outcome တွေရတဲ့ခါကျတော့ trauma တွေရမိခင်ရောကျမတို့ obstetrician ပါပေါ့နော်အဲ့ဒါကျတော့ဒီခုနပြောတဲ့အကောင်းဆုံးကလေးကိုဘယ်လိုမွေးမလဲဆိုတော့ဒေါ်ရေးတီတာကတော့ present လုပ်သွားတာပေါ့နော်အဲ့ဒါလေးနဲ့ပတ်သက်ပြီးမေးကြလို့ရှိရင်မေးပေးပါရှင်
Thida ကို question လေးတစ်ခုအောက်ကမေးထားပါတယ်ကွာခဏလေးဒီ
ငယ်လေးတွေထားခြင်းတယ်ငယ်လေးတွေမထား
ဒီမှာ question
question တွေအများကြီးရှိတယ်အဲ့ဒါဆိုပြီးပြီဒါကြောင့်မမေးဘူးဆိုတော့အားငယ်နေမှာဆို
မအရင်မေးပါရပါတယ်ကလေးတွေကဆို
no so thank you for your very comprehensive talk but so you emphasize on only DHA for healthy and smart baby especially the brain development of the babies, there's a lot of micronutrients important for, especially for neurocognitive functions and brain structurally, as well as mentally and IQ level. So can you elaborate a little about other micronutrients important for neurocognitive function, not only DHA, apart from DHA? I think you have very time constraints, so you cannot elaborate a lot.
မ micronutrient တွေမှာတော့မ iodine လည်းပါပါတယ်မ iodine တို့ zinc တို့လည်းပါပါတယ်မ micronutrient တွေနေညာလေဒါပေမဲ့ဒီမှာကျတော့ဒီကျမတို့ nutrition ထဲမှာ DHA တွေကိုပို့ပြီးတော့ပေါ့နော် emphasize လုပ်ပြီးတော့ present လုပ်ပါဆိုလို့ပါအမှန်တော့ဟုတ်တယ်မအချိန်ရနေပါလို့ပါဒီမှာမိကုန်းတစ်ခုလာတာတော့ is there any national or international studies regarding effects of DHA on PE prematurity and postpartum depressions there. Thank you for your interesting questions. There's a many limited study, especially in our country. So I hope junior doctors for protocol to make the DHA in effects on prevented effects on PE or prematurity. Thank you.
Any question from audience?
application ပေါ့နော် application သုံးတဲ့ဟာဒီ offline မှာရောသုံးလို့ရလားဆရာတို့ application ထဲမှာ game source တို့ data တွေအကုန်ထည့်ထားပြီးတော့သူပါပြောတော့ တွိုင်းလိုက်ဟာကိုထွက်လာတာလားတော့မဟုတ် offline မဟုတ်ဘဲနဲ့ online မှာရောသုံးရတာလားမသိချင်ဘူး
ဟုတ်ကဲ့ဟိုဒီ application ကတော့လောလောဆယ်မှာတော့အခုလောလောဆယ်မှာ online မရပါသေးဘူးเนาะကျွန်တော်တို့ offline version ကတော့ကျွန်တော်တို့ဒီအခြေအနေပေါ်မူတည်ပြီးတော့ကျွန်တော် develop လုပ်ပြီးသွားလို့ရပါတယ်ခင်ဗျာ
rural area မှာကျတော့ online ဖြစ်မှာမတင်နာစိတ်တော့မရှိတော့
ဟုတ်ကဲ့
now fluid and water intake ပေါ့နော်သူတောက်သမျှကိုတော့မှတ်ထားရဲဆိုတော့အဲ့ဒီ application မှာရော daily allowance ကတော့ဘယ်လောက်ပါမယ်ဆိုပြီးသတ်မှတ်ထားပြီးတော့ပမာဏထည့်ထားလား
ဟုတ်ကဲ့မှာဟောကျွန်တော်ဒီ slide လေးမှာ slide ပြန်ကြည့်လို့ရ slide ကြည့်လို့မရတော့ဘူးကျွန်တော်ဒီဟုတ်ကဲ့မှာ application ထဲမှာတော့သူက daily ပေါ့နော်လူတစ်ယောက်ဒီပုံမှန်လူဆိုရင်2 liter ကိုဝင်ဆောင်သွားပြီဆိုရင်ကျွန်တော်တို့3 to 5 liter ဒီကြားထဲကိုတော့ကျွန်တော်တို့တောက်ပါဆိုပြီးတော့ကျွန်တော်တို့ကဟို recommended တော့ပေးထားတယ်ပေါ့ဟုတ်ကဲ့မှာဟိုရတယ်ကျွန်တော်မေးပါကျွန်တော်ကပြောတယ်
now feedback ဘာမေးဘူးလားဟိုမှာမေးခွင့်ရှိသေးတယ်ခဏလေးနော်ကျွန်တော်ယူ
Sorry, for the regarding the second section, what no? We have many questions. So, before the reading the questions, from my personal view, a little bit worried about the safety of the data, and sometimes it can abuse to our specialist practice, right? So these 2 points, please need to be considered and ask the questions. Here, 7 questions. It's very just simple. Where can we get the platform? Download not very easy.
ဟုတ်ကဲ့ခင်ဗျာဒီဒုတိယ question ကိုပဲဖြည့်ရင်ဖြည့်လိုက်မယ်เนาะပထမဆုံး Android ရှိမယ်ကျွန်တော်တို့ iOS ရှိမယ်ဆိုရင်ကျွန်တော် Android platform နေရမယ်ပြီးရခါကျရင် iOS ဆိုရင် App Store ပေါ့เนาะ App Store ကနေပြီးတော့ free download လုပ်လို့ရပါတယ်ပေါ့เนาะပထမမေးခွန်းအတွက်ကတော့ကျွန်တော်တို့ဒီ app ရဲ့ nature ကဒီလူနာကဆရာဝန်ကိုဆရာဆက်လုပ်ဖို့မဟုတ်ပေါ့เนาะဆရာဝန်ပြောတဲ့ဟာကိုလူနာဒီစာရွက်ပေါ်မှာမှတ်တာကို mobile application ပေါ်မှာ platform ပေါ်မှာမှတ်လို့ရအောင်လို့လွယ်ကူအောင်ကျွန်တော်တို့ကကူညီပေးတာသဘောကဟိုစာရွက်ဆိုတာပျောက်တတ်တယ် paper ပေါ့နော် traditional paper ကနေပြီးတော့ digital platform ကိုကျွန်တော်တို့က change ပေးတာပေါ့နော်ဘာဖြစ်လို့လဲဆိုတော့အခုချိန်မှာလူတိုင်းဒီဖုန်းကိုကင်နေပြီပေါ့နော်ဒါကြောင့် application ဒီလူနာဆရာကိုဆရာဆက်လုပ်ဖို့မဟုတ်ဘူးပေါ့နော်ဆရာဝန်ပြောတဲ့ဟာကိုသူဒီမှတ်သားထားဖို့အတွက်ပဲဖြစ်ပါတယ်ပေါ့နော် data safety နဲ့ပတ်သက်တာကတော့ဒေါက်တာဘီနုရှင်းပြပါလိမ့်
Yeah, I'd like to reply to both. I'll take the second one first. Even though it's going to be free for everyone, doctors and users, and it's in fact freely downloadable for the patients as well. Once it's a connected application between the patients and the doctors, you pointed out very correctly in the beginning, the data privacy and security is even more important. Therefore, we need to maintain that layer of extra security by onboarding the doctors directly and making sure that they don't have any other wrong patients being linked or wrong doctors being linked either. And all our doctors are from the acknowledged and accepted within regulations doctors of the country. That's for the second question. The first question was about the data. Oh, exactly. It is really crucial, and we are very aware of that. And in fact, because we are international, we are there and going to be in multiple countries as well. This becomes even more crucial. And in many countries, the regulations are very lax. They don't have clear rules which says this is how we need to maintain data privacy and security. Therefore, what we have done default is to make sure that we comply with the European GDPR rules, which are very, very stringent to start with. Now, it is mentioned both on the website as well as in the application itself. So the usage is complied based on the fact that this is going to be followed. Now, a given country, let's assume it's Myanmar, comes up with an even more stringent rule saying that this is exactly how it should be managed. Then our mandate is to manage it the way it is being practiced in the country. So on that, we have our assurance, and towards quality control, we make sure that all internal compliances are maintained in place, and year to year quality assurances are maintained so that we don't have any other avenues for random data leaks and so on. Yeah.
Thank you. Question လေးနည်းနည်းရွတ်လိုက်မယ်ဟိုဒါနောက်ကမေးထားဆိုတော့လေလူနာတယောက်ချင်းဖုန်းနံပါတ်နှစ်ခုသုံးလို့ရလားပေါ့နောက်တစ်ခုကပထမကလေးမွေးပြီးနောက်တစ်ချိန်ကိုဝင်ဆောင်ရင်ဒီ application ကိုဆက်သုံးလို့ရလားတဲ့ဆရာဝန်တွေအတွက် application ကရောဘာနာမည်လဲတဲ့ဆိုတော့တိတ်တော့ဟိုဒါတွေကတော့ရှင်းပြပြီးသွားပြီလို့တော့ထင်နောက်တစ်ခုက Symposium from the height ကမတိုင်ထားဘူးလားပေါ့နော်ဒီထဲမှာနောက်မြန်မာ language ကို application ထဲမှာပါလားဆိုတော့ခုနတော့ပါတော့ပါတယ်လေပြောတော့ပြောပြီးသားပါsorry เนาะအဲ့လိုလေးတွေရှိတယ်
ရပါတယ်ဟိုကျွန်တော်ထပ်ပြီးပြောပြီးသားထပ်ပြောလို့ရပါတယ်မြန်မာ language ဒါမှဟိုဘိုင်း language ကတော့နှစ်မျိုးရှိတယ်ပေါ့နော် English လို့လည်းရှိတယ်မြန်မာလို့လည်းရှိတယ်ပေါ့နော်ကျွန်တော်တို့ဒီပထမဆုံးဒီ sign up လုပ်တဲ့နေရာမှာ down လေးမှာ language ကိုပြောင်းလိုက်တာနဲ့ English ကနေပြီးတော့ local language ကိုကျွန်တော်တို့ရရှိမှာဖြစ်ပါတယ်ပေါ့နော်ပြီးရင်ဒုတိယတစ်ခုဖြစ်တဲ့ဖုန်းနံပါတ်ပေါ့နော်ဖုန်းနံပါတ်ဒီကျွန်တော်တို့ကဖုန်းနံပါတ်နဲ့လည်းမှတ်တယ် email နဲ့လည်းအသုံးပြုတယ်ဖြစ်တဲ့ကြောင့်မလို့ကို register လုပ်တဲ့ email နဲ့ဖုန်းနံပါတ်တော့တူရမှာပေါ့နော်တဘောကပထမ9594နောက်တစ်ခါကျတော့9595ဆိုရင်တော့ကျွန်တော်တို့ OTP ကုတ်ပေါ့နော် OTP ကုတ်ကြတာမတူတဲ့ခါကျတော့ data လည်းတူမှာမဟုတ်ပါဘူးပေါ့နော်အဲကြောင့်ဖုန်းနံပါတ်ကိုလည်းကိုယ့်ရဲ့ profile တိစောက်တဲ့ကတူရမယ်နောက်ပြီးတော့ Gmail တူရမယ်ပေါ့နော်နောက်တစ်ခုကတတိယတစ်ခုပေါ့နော်ကလေးမွေးပွားသမီးပေါ့နော်ပထမဟုတ်ပါတယ်နော်ကျွန်တော်တို့ကိုဝင်ဆောင်မိခင်ဒီပထမကိုဝင်ရတယ်ပြီးဒုတိယကိုဝင်ရတယ်ဒုတိယကိုဝင်ရတဲ့ခါကျရင်ကျွန်တော်တို့ပထမကိုဝင်ဆောင်ပြီးတော့ဒီ application ကပြီးသွားတဲ့ခါမှာအောက်မှာလည်းကျွန်တော်တို့နောက်စာကြောင်းလေးတစ်ခုရှိရဒုတိယကိုဝင်အတွက်အကိုကဒုတိယကိုဝင်ဆောင်ဖြစ်တယ်ဆိုရင်ပထမဆုံး login ဝင်လိုက်ရင်အရင်ကိုဝင်ကသုံးထားတဲ့ Gmail အရင်ကိုဝင်ကသုံးထားတဲ့ဖုန်းနံပါတ်ကိုရိုက်ထိတ်လိုက်ပြီးတော့ဒုတိယကိုဝင်ပါဆိုပြီးတော့ကျွန်တော်နှိပ်လိုက်ရင်အစကပြန်ဖြစ်သလိုအစနေရာကိုပြန်ရောက်သွားတယ်ရှေ့ကိုဝင်က data တွေကိုလည်းမပြောက်ဘူးဒီအတစ်ရရှိလာတဲ့ကိုဝင် data တွေကိုလည်းပြန်ပြီးတော့ platform မှာအသုံးပြုလို့ရပါတယ်နှစ်ခုကချိတ်ဆက်နေတာပေါ့နော်သဘောကတော့ဟုတ်ကဲ့ခင်ဗျ
I'm assuming that first question is also about how to access the app in Burmese. There are two parts to it. One is the app itself can be accessed the way Dr. Lynn spoke about. However, if you are in English in the application, when you go to the content, we have a content channel within the application itself. There you can again choose which language you want. If you are in Burmese, but you want to choose English, read some English articles, you could do that. Or vice versa as well, because there is a second choice again available when reading the content blogs and things like that, wherein again you can move between languages if you are familiar with both languages and want to use it as well. So that's an additional feature that we've created within.
Due to APP ရဲ့နော်နောက်တစ်ခုကကြတော့ postpartum complication signs included နောက်တစ်ခုကတော့ teratogenic drug should be added သူက suggestion လေးပေါ့
ဟုတ်ကဲ့ခင်ဗျsuggestion တွေတော့ကျွန်တော်မှတ်ထားပါမယ်ပေါ့နော်အခုလောလောဆယ်ကတော့ platform ဒီကျွန်တော်ရဲ့ရည်ရွယ်ချက်က simple ဖြစ်ရမယ် not complicated နောက်ပြီးခါကျရင် information อ่ะဗောလေအရင်overwhelming မဖြစ်အောင်လို့ကျွန်တော်တို့က aware ထားတယ်ပေါ့နော်နှုတ်မဆိုရင်လူနာကဒီ app ကိုသုံးပြီးတော့ဘယ်လိုပြောမလဲစိတ် cool down မရွှဲပဲနဲ့ပို့ပြီးတော့ worry ဖြစ်သွားတယ်ဆိုတော့ဘက်ကိုကျွန်တော်တို့ကမရွေးတဲ့ခါကျတော့ complication တွေဘာတွေအားလုံးကိုတော့ကျွန်တော်တို့ကဒီထဲမှာဘာမှမပြောထားဘူးကျွန်တော်တို့ဒီကိုဝင်ကိုဘယ်လိုမျိုး view ဆိုင်ရမလဲကိုဆရာဝန်ညွှန်ကြားချက်တွေကိုကျွန်တော်တို့ဘယ်လိုတင်ထားရမလဲဆရာဝန်ညွှန်ကြားတဲ့ဟာတင်ပြီးသွားတဲ့ခါကျရင် data ဘယ်လိုမှတ်မလဲလောလောဆယ်တော့ဒီအဆင့်ကိုပဲကျွန်တော်တို့ကဦးစားပေးပါသေးတယ်ပေါ့နော်အကယ်၍တစ်ချိန်မှာပေါ့နော်ကိုယ့်ရဲ့ဒီ target audience အထူးသဖြင့်လူငယ်တွေကပို့ပြီး educated ဖြစ်လာတယ်ပို့ပြီးတော့လည်းသုံးများလာဆိုတော့ကျွန်တော်တို့ကဒီခုနက level တစ်ခုကိုတော့သွားရမှာပဲလောလောဆယ်မှာတော့ကျွန်တော်တို့ဒီ app ကိုသုံးတဲ့သူတွေအားလုံးဒီစိတ်ချမ်းသာရမယ်ပေါ့နော် data မပြောက်ရဘူးဒီ app ကိုအသုံးပြုတဲ့ဆရာဝန်တွေဒီလည်းဒီ app ကြောင့်နောက်ရှက်ဖြစ်မစေအောင်ပေါ့နော်ဒါဆိုကျွန်တော်တို့က supportive ပေးတဲ့နေရာတွေပဲနေတာဖြစ်တဲ့ကြောင့်မလို့ဘာမှကျွန်တော်တို့ကside effect တွေဘာတွေကိုတော့မသိနိုင်သေးပါဘူးခင်ဗျာ record အနေနဲ့ပဲကျွန်တော်တို့က first stage အနေနဲ့ပဲcreate လုပ်ထားသိချင်ဖြစ်ပါတယ်
လောက်မျိုး
ဟုတ်ကဲ့ခင်ဗျာဟုတ်
ဟိုဖီတယ်ကစ်ကောင်လေးမှတ်ခိုင်းတာလေ
ဟုတ်ကဲ့
အဲ့တော့ကောင်းတယ်သူကလေးလေးစီတယ်ပေါ့ကျမ်းပါတယ်ပေါ့
ဟုတ်ကဲ့ခင်
အဲ့
ဗျာ
တော့သူ့အတွက်လည်းကောင်းတယ်လို့မျိုးကျမတို့တွေ instruction ပေးတာဖီတယ် well-being ကိုထိမဲ့လူတွေဆိုလို့ရှိရင်လည်းကျမတို့ဖီတယ်ကစ်ကောင်မှတ်ခိုင်းလေးရှိတယ်အဲ့တော့အဲ့ဒီမှာ limit ရှိတာဒီဘယ်ကနေဘယ်နှစ်နာရီအတွင်းကတော့ဒါကောင်းမှပြည့်မှသာလင်ကောင်းတယ်ဆိုပြီးတော့အဲ့လိုမျိုးအမှတ်ကလေးလောက်ထားတာရှိလား
ဒါကတော့လေဟို traditional ကျွန်တော်တို့ကတော့သိရမလားတနေ့ကို20ပြည့်ရမယ်30ပြည့်ရမယ်ဆိုပြီးအစိတ်အဲ့လိုရှိမယ်နော်ဒါပေမဲ့အခုဒီ app ကကြောင့်ကျွန်တော်တို့ကမထည့်ထားဘူးခင်ဗျဘာဖြစ်လဲဆိုတော့ဆရာဝန်ကလူနာကိုဘယ်လိုညွှန်ကြားမယ်ဆိုတာကိုကျွန်တော်တို့အခုနောက်ပိုင်း trend ရကျွန်တော်တို့ကမသိဘူးပေါ့နော်ဘာဖြစ်လဲဆိုတော့နောက်ပြီးတော့လူနာကိုပေါ့ကျွန်တော်တို့ဒီ application မသုံးခင် pilot run တဲ့ခါမှာဆိုရင် working mother ပေါ့နော်ကျွန်တော်တို့ပြောတယ်ပေါ့နော်ဆရာကျမတနေ့ခုံလည်းပြင်ပန်းနေပြီဆရာတာလီချိုးခိုင်းတယ်လို့အဲ့လိုလည်းမချိုးတိုင်းတော့ပေါ့နော်ကလေးကငါးကလွှင့်ငါးကလောက်ပဲနှိပ်ပြီးတော့ပဲသူအိပ်ပျော်ရတယ်ပေါ့နော်ဒါဆိုတော့ကျွန်တော်တို့ကဒါကိုflexible နေပဲထားတယ် mass เนาะဒီလိုအချိန်မှာဒီလိုကောက်အောင်မယ်ဆိုတာကိုတော့ကျွန်တော်တို့ကမထည့်ထားပါဘူးခင်ဗျ
ဟုတ်အဲ့ဒါကြောင့် application ဖွင့်ရင်ဘယ်နှမိနစ်ကြာ
second Sarah how long it will takes you to open the application
Yes,
ဟုတ်ကလည်းမေးကြအောင်လေ
there's a technical question about how long does it take to open the app? That's a question, right?
so how long
The speeds, the speed, and if you can just compare it with international speeds.
Sorry. Can you repeat the question once again?
Yeah, once downloaded, how soon does it?
application ကိုဖြည့်လို့ရှရင်လေ you fill up the application how long it takes ဖြည့်လို့ဖြည့်ရ
Oh, okay, so not technical as much. Yeah.
To load the.
Yeah, it's more about how many steps does one have to pass through to download
To onboard to the application.
onboard the application.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
So to onboarding is less than 30 seconds. We collect only very minimal information. So the app opens and you can fill in the basic profile. So the fastest way to get in there by using your Google or Apple login. So just tap on that and it automatically signs you in. If you're using Android, it is fast. And if you're using Apple sign in on iPhone, that is even faster. I mean, similarly on iOS side. Then we just need to fill in the pregnancy information. So that's the only step we need to have. And then you are on the homepage. So about on the technical side, the speed of the application, it is pretty fast. We locally store as much as information possible without, not to reload every time from the internet. So we just, when you open the apps, most of the information are available locally. Even we store some of the content locally, the recently accessed one, so that you can access them faster. So that is how the app performs. Some more technical details, like it takes about 20 to 30 MB of space, depends on your device, on your phone. So that's how it works. And the speed totally depends on the internet connection. So for the app, doesn't have any restrictions in this country as well. I mean, there is no slowness we have seen here. It's loading pretty fast.
One of the queries which was there before, we already answered it, was also because, I mean, it's also for us to think, is about the online, offline aspect of things because of patchy internet connections across.
Mhm.
And we should slowly, I mean, the request is that, as much if it's cached, then it's easier.
Right.
And, otherwise,
Yeah.
we're not sure about the connectivity, the speed of connectivity across the
Right.
region.
So we try to cache or store it as much as we can. But at the same time, people are also worried about using more storage on their device because once they don't have enough space for their photos and everything, they feel very difficult. This app is consuming a lot of data. So we are trying to find a balance so that, what are the more recently accessed content that we are storing offline. For example, we have a huge content library, which is about 200 plus articles as of now. So, but if we cache that, maybe it consumes a lot of space. But we try to, to store the information that are most useful at that point of time. I mean, the point of time in your pregnancy.
တော်ဝင်းမြပါပြောမလဲခုနကကိုကြည့်တည်ကြည့်တယ်
Sorry, just one more point. So we are launching in this market. So there are a lot of dynamics. There are a lot of feedback that is required to improve the product. So we request all of you to try the application and share the feedback. That will be quite useful for us as well.
Yes, this for us, in fact, any digital application, it's not a static being. What we see 2 years from now would be a result of all of us working together and improving it to that level. So every 3 months, we would have a new version coming out. So we would really request that, as much of feedback which comes, positive, negative, it's all welcome. So we would incorporate all the usable ones and take it forward and, to keep giving better and better service to all the people, the patients especially, going forward.
ဟုတ်မှာ
and Professor ဝင်းဝင်းမြပါဟိုဒီလိုupdated methods and information တွေပေးဖို့စီစဉ်တဲ့အတွက်ပထမဆုံးတော့ကျေးဇူးတင်ပါတယ်ဒါပေမဲ့ကျွန်မလည်းမေးစာရှိတာလေးတွေခေါင်းထဲမှာပေါ်လာတာပေါ့နော်အခု you have started this application for 2 years I would like to have your feedback from the patients and the doctors and the outcome နော်အဲ့ဒါလေးနည်းနည်းသိချင်တယ်
This development started 2 years back, but the launches are all very recent. We have feedback which is there from other countries as well. That's probably what you want, right, ma'am? So we have so and again, not just users but from doctors as well. And one of the key feedbacks was that to inspire confidence within a country, it would be good to feature the regulations if there are on the guidelines within the application itself, so that the patient is given that confidence that whatever is being recommended is more or less relevant. So this is an example from Kenya, from COGS, from the Kenyan Obstetrics and Gynecology Society. This was a specific request made to us, and we featured that accordingly. Another one was about content. What kind of content we feature within the application? In fact, it came from Myanmar itself. So about the content, it was one of the recommendations was we should feature material which is not run of the mill, which is accessible everywhere. It's not all that important, but what is really important are questions which people are finding it difficult to ask their mothers, their grandmothers, and so on. So taboo subjects, for example, intimacy during pregnancy and so on. So which we incorporate within the application. Now, having said that, even after we create content, we have it vetted back again in the country. Is it culturally correct? Is it it's a sensitive matter, many of these things. So are we able to do that, follow that through, and then sort of put it together? One of the features which has got a lot of positive feedback is about the kick counter. Kick counter, Dr. Lynn had demonstrated that. It is something which you can just tap on and the kick gets registered. It is similar to some of the like there are kick counters now available, like like a clicker. this is within the application itself, and it keeps running even after you're not using the application. It runs on the side for a period of 2 hours or so, and whenever you feel the lady feels the kick, she can go and just tap on that small bit which is sitting in the phone. And this is something which gets recorded and something which can be followed through over a period of time. And there is no subjectivity to it. They know this many happened during that period of time. And on the doctor's dashboard, it is reflected as numbers. So this was something which was very tactile. They could feel the thing happening. So that was good.
This is the first database, so that you will have updated later. No? The up till now is more on the antenatal care. Yes, because for the have a smart baby and a smart pregnancy, I think intranatal care and postnatal care are also very important.
Excellent
Right
point.
from the pre-pregnancy to the postnatal care, that's to consider about the information you need to give to the general public, the pregnant mother to be, so that as Dr. Thida has said about the preparedness for the labor and also the birth attendants who will help to prevent all the complications. So that's the points to suggest to you.
No, it's an excellent point,
Yeah.
ma'am. I mean, I'd reply to that. Oh, you have another question. Please ask. After that,
Yes,
I'll come.
the first one I would like to criticize is about the abdominal circumference. Because abdominal circumference is not tally up with the pregnancy progress. Is symphysis fundal height is, that means starting from symphysis pubis to the height of the fundus. That is, it were more important facts to consider about the fetal growth. Because as a long time ago, I prepared the instruction or standard operating procedure for antenatal care for the pregnant mother and also the doctors to measure the symphysis fundal height to assess the fetal growth. That's why just to consider about the abdominal circumference. For example, up to the 4 or 5 months of pregnancy, the abdominal circumference will not be increased. So, and also the twin pregnancy is abdominal circumference is reliable data for it. That's to consider about it. And we could not see the exact information about this antenatal care, so that when we have an access, or I think it's my colleagues, they are quite happy to see it and to give a suggestion to you later to have the updated data. So this is I would like to stress. And the next one is about if you are going to prepare, you identify the localization, because in our country there are the guidelines for the midwives and the birth attendants by the Ministry of Health under the reproductive health sector, based on the WHO and UNICEF guidelines. So that these guidelines should be along with you. And I think it's and also there's one department for health education under the Ministry of Health. So that if you are giving the information to the pregnant woman and also her family, so I think these guidelines will be important to consider about the updated data on. And another one question for Thida is regarding to save a safe baby. Buddha Bada Yaro on a Yoko Bibi Mokanye say Udu Ahaya, so Ahaya to Kuenero, Paloma Macabre and Mulo. So you need to counsel with the patient to have a smart baby. There's a lot of facts now to going to pass a healthy journey during pregnancy and also the delivery and have a smart, healthy baby.
Thank you, Ma. Respectful maternity care through psychology of
Ma'am, those are excellent points. Fantastic points. one is actually a caution for us. On the others, I'll take it one after the other. The first point you made was about delivery of the baby, and then what? That aspect of it is also there. The healthy baby and onwards. This point has actually come up as we were developing the application. This point came up from, this is where empathetic design comes in. A lot of women who are mothers came up with the, even our chief coach's wife was one of the first people who said, are you going to stop support right after the pregnancy? And then what? So what we are doing now is the first 1,000 days of baby, we are actually creating content to support the baby through the mother in that very apprehensive period again through the first 1,000 days. So again, we have information in English, but we will add on more and more. Some of it is already in Burmese as well. We'll add on more. 1. 2, so the second point was about abdominal circumference. There is a lot of variability there, and it's soft marker, not so much as a hard indicator or a pointer towards that. So it's a suggestion well taken, ma'am. As these suggestions keep coming, we will look at how to sort of tweak that and make sure that one is to make sure the measurement is right. Oftentimes it doesn't get measured right. Women with lax abdominal wall versus the ones who have better abdominal tone have slightly different, for example. So all those things are there, and then whether it's a relevant enough a pointer to keep within the application itself. Now, these are definitely point well taken, ma'am. The third question which ma'am gave to us.
Prof is suggested the Ministry
Yeah,
of
please.
Yes.
It should be installed or stated
For-
in the application.
Please, thank you for saying that, because that is exactly the kind of input that we would welcome and want to feature. Again, a lesson from some of the African countries is there's a culture of midwives running an entire subsection of deliveries across parts of the country. So they have, in fact, again requested to have collaborations with them and feature what is relevant for them within the application as well.
Question from Professor San Myint.
I'm
Yeah.
Dr. San Myint. I would like to know whether the use of these application is free of charge or not, because we are very glad to hear that the application, but in our current situation, there are areas where Wi-Fi is not available. In that area, we have to use the mobile data, which is very expensive. So I would like to know whether this is free of charge or it is chargeable. Thank you.
ဆရာ yes is free of charge ပါဆရာ။မင်္ဂလာအနေနဲ့ကတော့ဒီမြန်မာပြည်အတွက်ဒီ mother and child ကိုစပြီးတော့supporting ပေးရတဲ့ဖြစ်တဲ့ကြောင့်မလို့ဒါဒီ free of charge ပေါ့နော်။ဆရာခုနပြောသလိုmobile data သုံးရတယ်ပေါ့နော်။ဒုတိယ mobile data သုံးတော့ကျွန်တော်တို့အခုကတော့ဒီ clinic တွေဆေးရုံတွေနဲ့ကျွန်တော်တို့ကတော့စကားပြောတယ်ပေါ့နော်။အကယ်၍ Wi-Fi data support ကျွန်တော်တို့ဘက်က support ပေးရမယ်ဆိုရင်သူဒီ clinic မကိုဆရာဝန်ကြည့်ဖို့လာတဲ့ချိန်မှာဒီ data လေးတွေကိုတခါတည်း Wi-Fi ချိတ်ပြီးတော့ပေါ့နော်။ဒီထည့်သွားလို့ရတယ်ပေါ့လေဒါကတော့ကျွန်တော်တို့ဒီဒုတိယ next step တွေနဲ့ပေါ့ကျွန်တော်တို့စဉ်းစားထားတာပေါ့နော်ဆရာအခုလောလောဆယ်ကတော့ဒီ application ဒီ free of charge download လုပ်ရတယ်ဒါပေမဲ့ဒီ Wi-Fi ရတဲ့နေရာမှာဆိုရင်တော့ကိုယ့်ရဲ့ data ကိုတခါတည်းထည့်သွားလို့တော့ရပါတယ်ပေါ့နော်ဆရာ mobile data သုံးရတယ်ဆိုရင်တော့ဟုတ်ပါတယ် cost တစ်ခုတော့ရှိပါတယ်ပေါ့နော်ကျွန်တော်တို့လည်းအဲ့ရနဲ့ပတ်သက်ပြီးတော့ cost တက်တာအောင်လို့ပေါ့နော် in the future မှာဒီ operator Telenor Ooredoo MPT သူတို့နဲ့ပေါ့နော်ကျွန်တော်တို့ package ဘယ်လိုညှိလို့ရမလဲဆိုတာကိုတော့ဒါnext stage အနေနဲ့ကျွန်တော်တို့ဆွေးနွေးသွားမှာဖြစ်ပါတယ်ပေါ့နော်လောလောဆယ်ကတော့ကျွန်တော်တို့လောက်တိုင်းတာဆိုလို့application အသုံးများတဲ့ဆေးရုံဆေးကန်းတွေကိုကျွန်တော်တို့ Wi-Fi ကိုကျွန်တော်တို့ support ပေးတယ်သူတို့ဆေးကန်းလာပြတဲ့ချိန်စောင့်နေတဲ့အချိန်မှာတော့ data လေးတွေကိုထည့်သွားလို့ရအောင်လို့ပေါ့နော်လောလောဆယ်ကတော့လောက်ပါပဲဆရာဟုတ်ဆရာ
Thank you, sir.
ဟုတ်ကဲ့ဆရာ
ဒီ question လေးတွေကမြန်မာလိုပဲပြောလိုက်ပါတော့မယ်နည်းနည်းကျမလည်းတချို့ဝင်ဖြေပြီးလို့ရအောင်ဒီ application အဓိကရွယ်ချက်ကဘာလဲတဲ့အဲ့တော့
ဟုတ်ကဲ့ခင်ဗျဒီ application ရဲ့အဓိကရည်ရွယ်တာတော့ခုနပြောသလို traditional paper to digital
digital data storage ပေါ့လေ
ဒါ
ဒါ
ပါ
ပါ
ပဲ
ပဲ
ဟုတ်ကဲ့
သူရောကိုရောလူနာအတွက်ကောဆရာဝန်အတွက်ကော facilitate ဖြစ်အောင်
facilitate ဖြစ်ပါတယ်
ဒါပါပဲเนาะ
ဟုတ်
ခါ
ကဲ့
လေးကြတော့ဟိုဒီ paper တွေကကားထဲမှာကြံခဲ့လို့ပြန်ယူ
ဟုတ်
လိုက်
ကဲ့
ဦးမယ်လို့အိမ်
ဒါ
မှာ
မှ
ကြံ
အ
ခဲ့
ထွာဆောင်က
အဲ
ရင်
အဲ
အထွာဆောင်ကဘယ်ရောက်မှမသိ
မ
ဘူး
သိ
လို့
ဘူး
နော်
လို့ဟိုအိမ်
ဖတ်
ပြောင်း
ဆောင်
လို့ပျောက်သွားတယ်
ဟုတ်
လို့
ကဲ့
မျိုး
ဒါ
တွေ
တွေပေါ့ကျွန်တော် support ပေးနေတယ်
အဲ့ဒါလေးတွေပါနောက်ဘယ်လိုလူတွေအတွက်ရွယ်တာလဲဆို all pregnant mother ပေါ့နော်ဆရာကကျမဖြည့်ပေးလိုက်တာပါနော်
ကျေးဇူးပါ
နောက်တစ်ခုကကြတော့ဗာလဲဒီထားလိုက်တော့အဲ့ဒါ OG society က approve လုပ်နိုင်လောက်လားဆိုအဲ့ question တော့ကျမတိတ်နားမလဲ OG society က approve လုပ်နိုင်လောက်လားဆရာပဲဖြေကြည့်အောင်မသိဘူးထားလိုက်ပါတော့ anonymous ပေါ့
society က approve မလုပ်နိုင်ဘူးလုပ်လို့မရဘူးဘာလို့လဲ
လုပ်
ဆို
ဖို့
တော့
လဲတော့မဟုတ်
it depends on the guidelines that we are applying to in our country နောက်ပြီးတဲ့အခါကျ MNRCH တို့နောက်ပြီးတဲ့အခါကျ HNE တို့ကိုထည့်ပြောပြီးတော့လုပ်လို့ရအဲ့တော့ OG society ကဟာဒီဥစ္စာ okay တယ်ဆိုပြီး mega ကြီးကို go ahead ဆိုပြီးလုပ်လို့တော့မရဘူး there are a lot of steps no we need to go because abdominal circumference ကျွန်တော်တို့မသုံးဘူးကျွန်တော်တို့ symphysiofundal height သုံးတယ် kick out is very good very hit ဒီမှာ kick out မ bite ကြီးကတည်းကနေ kick out လုပ်ဆိုရင်ဒုက္ခရောက်ကုန်မှာပေါ့เนาะ we need to do a kick out when the patient is having a preeclampsia la if the patient complain of reduced fetal so these are the things that we have to polish again we have to think about it we have to အဲ့တော့ဘယ်သူသုံးမလဲဆိုတဲ့ပြဿနာပါလာတာပေါ့ for the doctors and patient ဗမာပြည်မှာနေရာတိုင်းမှာ doctors နဲ့ patient မရှိဘူးကျွန်တော်တို့ရဲ့ဟိုအောက်ကိုဆင်းသွားလို့ရှိရင် midwife နဲ့ patient ရှိတယ် LHV နဲ့ patient ရှိတယ် will they be able to do that เนาะအဲ့တော့Cambodia တို့ Vietnam တို့မှာအခုတက်လာတာပေါ့เนาะ Vietnam ဆိုရင်အရန်တက်လာတယ် Vietnam mortality rate ပုံနဲ့ကြာသွားဘာဖြစ်လို့လဲဆိုတော့ all care are in the institutional we can't do institutional we cannot expect 100% skill delivery so any ဥစ္စာတွေလည်း these are the facts เนาะအဲ့တော့ဟိုဒီဥစ္စာကိုလွယ်လွယ်ကူကူနဲ့ it is not just a mobile application เนาะအဲ့တော့ data privacy you have mentioned we have mentioned and then data application you have mentioned we have mentioned telephone ပြောင်းဝိုင်းဘယ်လိုလုပ်နော် blood group ပါမယ်အဲ့ဒီထဲမှာနောက်တစ်ခါကျတော့သူ့ရဲ့ blood pressure ပါမယ် health insurance ကတွေ့ဝိုင်းပေးလို့ဒီမှာပဲရှိတယ်သူ insurance မပေးနိုင်ဘူးဆိုရင်ပြဿနာတက် so these are the problems still we have to solve it's not going to a very easy click and go ဒါမှမဟုတ် OG society အခုလောလောဆယ်ဒါကြီးကို approve မလုပ်ကျွန်တော်ကတော့ passport မှာသူ့လို့တော့သူ
ဆရာကိုကျွန်တော်နည်းနည်းပြောရင်နည်းနည်းထွန်းတက်လိုက်အောင်မယ်နော်ဆရာဟိုပါဗောနော်ဖုန်းပြောက်သွားရင်လို့ပြောတယ်ဗောနော်ဒါကခုနဖော်ပြထားတယ်ဗောနော်ကျွန်တော်တို့ကဒီ application ကိုအသုံးပြုမယ်ဆိုရင် email ရယ်ကိုယ့်ရဲ့ဖုန်းနံပါတ်ရယ်ဗောနော်ကျွန်တော်တို့အသုံးပြုရတယ်ပြီးရင် data ကို cloud မှာ storage ဖြစ်သွားတယ်ဒီကျွန်တော်တို့ဒီ physical ဖုန်းထဲမှာကျွန်တော်တို့ data မထည့်ဘူးဟုတ်ဆရာဒါကြောင့်မလို့ပျောက်သွားလဲကိုယ့်ရဲ့ privacy ချိုးဖောက်ဟိုတခြားလူသိသွားမလားဆိုရင်တော့တကယ်တော့မသိဘူးဘာဖြစ်လို့ဒီဖုန်းထဲမှာကျွန်တော်တို့ဘာမှမထည့်ထားပါဘူးကျွန်တော်တို့ကသူက internet access ရမှာသူက cloud ပေါ်ကို data ရောက်တဲ့ data ကိုဖတ်ချင်ရင်သူဒီ email နဲ့ဝင်ရမယ်ကို register လုပ်ထားတဲ့ဖုန်းနဲ့ဝင်ရမယ်ပေါ့နော်အဲ့ဒါကိုကျွန်တော်တို့ကဟိုအဲ့လိုမျိုးတော့ကျွန်တော်တို့ keep လုပ်ထားပြီပေါ့ဖုန်းတော့မပျောက်သွားပြီမဲ့ data ပါမသွားဘူးပေါ့နော်ဒါတော့ဟိုတစ်ချက်ပြန်ပြောပြဟုတ်ဆရာ
ကျေးဇူးပါ any comments from our senior or colleagues any comments welcome အမတို့
ဆရာတို့မေးပါနော်ဟို cancel မဲ့နှိုက်ချင်နေတာပြီလေဆိုတော့တကယ်တော့ conclusion closing
Thank you, Honorable Patron and Madam Chairpersons, Dr. Binu and speakers. May I invite our business director, Dr. Thida, for a vote of thanks.
As the time is running out, I will make it very quick, but I still have to honor all our very honorable and respected professors, senior doctors, and all the valued guests here attending and participating actively in this very special event. I deem it a take it a very pleasure in thanking the Myanmar Obstetric and Gynecology Society for supporting us with this event. And this is my sincere and special thanks to the patron of the Myanmar OB-GYN Society and president of the Myanmar OB-GYN Society, Professor Aung, for his support and guidance. Actually, we have been spending like last 1.5 years starting to contact Saya for his guidance, and even for the today audience, he has been on everyday basis contact with our team to have this kind of participants here. And secondly, my sincere thanks and special thanks to Professor and Head of University of Medicine 1, as well as the President of the Myanmar OB-GYN Society, Professor Khin, for acting as the chairperson for this today event. And also for our former Professor and Head of Medicine 1, OB-GYN, for Professor San Myint, for conducting as a chairperson for today. And our speaker, Dr. Binu, CEO for the Health at Home, for his elaborate and very short to the point and very clear objective. And all our other speakers, Dr. Thida and Dr. Lynn, for their insightful discussions on this today event. Actually, today is a very special occasion where this is the first time we are having this kind of event. As you probably know, after COVID, we have not had such event. And then this is the first time that we are going to launch this digital platform for the mothers, as well as for make it easier and convenient for the all our OB-GYNs in engaging with the pregnant mothers. So I think it is going to be beneficial for both pregnant mothers as well as for our OB-GYNs and all our senior OB-GYN doctors. So for this kind of event, it cannot happen within overnight. And we have been really trying hard to make this happen. And I do like to express my sincere gratitude to all our guests invited who have come to participate in spite of their time constraint, because today I understand that there are some practicing have to be done, but they are giving this special time for us. And thanks to all our senior doctors for joining virtually from other locations and for their love and support. And this required a lot of meticulous planning and execution and an eye for details. So it has been, we have been very fortunate to be backed up by a team of very motivated and dedicated colleagues who know their role and responsibility and making sure that this event has come to a success. And actually, I would like to extend my very, very sincere thanks to our CEO and head coach, Mr. Vivek Dhawan, for making his presence, and which I feel as it is a reflection of how these
academic symposium, and the launch of this maternal and childcare app is important to us. He has just arrived in the morning and he is now going to go back in the afternoon with the flight. So it is being a very honor for us, for his presence to support us every day, for his encouragement and guidance in the organization. So thank you very much from here. I won't take longer. This is for my vote of thanks to everyone who are present here today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Thank you, Dr. Thinang, for a vote of thanks. It's time to honor our patron, Madam Chairpersons and speakers from Obstetric and Gynecology Society with flower bouquets. May I request Dr. Thinang again onto the stage to present the flower bouquets? May I call upon Professor Aung to receive the bouquet, please? May I call upon Professor Kim to receive the bouquet, please? May I call upon Professor San Myint to receive the bouquet, please? May I call upon Dr. Thida to receive the bouquet, please? Thank you very much, Dr. Thinang. I just want to take this very short period so that our CU and head coach can give us a few messages for us. Just a very brief, because his presence is very important to us, and there must be some message from our CU.
Martin, thank you. I thought I was going to get away without a speech. But I'm Vivek. My name is Vivek Dhawan. I live in Bangkok. And I'm here for this very auspicious activity in our journey as Mega. Mega has been in Myanmar since I came here first in actually 92. I was the first man who walked here when we started our life in this country. So Myanmar is very close to my heart. It's one of my first countries we left out of Thailand and started business in. But this is not about business, let me tell you. I always tell them our first job in our life is to make sure how we can help our partners, our consumers, so they can look after their health. So we run a lot of programs in the company. We have a center in Bangkok we call the Wellness We Care Center, where we help people to make lifestyle changes. And we are not just promoting having more drugs, but helping them to take health in their own hands. So we run programs like Good Health by Yourself, where people learn how to manage their own health. So with We Care as one of our mottos in life, that we actually care for people and helping them to stay healthy as long as they live. This initiative, this platform is to help women in this country manage their pregnancies, manage their health before, during, after pregnancy. And so they can work along with you very well. And with your support, with your knowledge, with your guidance, manage their lives and manage their babies a lot better than they do. So that's all it's all about. So I want to really thank you all for being here, for spending your valuable time on a Sunday and listening to all this. But this journey cannot be complete without your support, without your guidance, without your help. As Dr. Binu said, it's collaborative. It's not perfect. It learns, like AI learns, this also learns and gets better over time. And it's not it's localized because it's for the people in the country, and we do our best to make sure that people can actually use it and it benefits their lives. So it's a beginning, and I'm very happy that all of you are here. So once again, I'm very grateful to all of you for being here, each one of you, and not only thankful to our team who has been working behind the scenes for last 2 years. It's not a profitable business that we are doing. It's all about this journey about making people find ways to manage their health. So once again, thank you teams within Mega who are a part of the organization, but actually doing all these things which are not related to what we sell. So great. Thank you. Thank you everybody for being here. Once again, my great respects to all of you. Thank you, sir. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, sir, Mr. Vivek Dhawan, for your speech.